Hi y'all, good morning. You want to catch some fish today? Come with me, let's go. We're going for a drift. We're going to cover some water this morning. Going to be fishing kind of shallow, only about 20 feet deep here on the section of the river I'm on. So we get some takedowns today. They're going to be intense because we're only going to have maybe 17, 18 feet of line out. So it's going to be a good time, y'all. So grab your umbrella, let's go. I'm going to drop some baits down right now. I say grab your umbrella because we liable to get wet today. There's some showers in the area, some potential storms. I've brought my rain jacket and my umbrella to try to ward it off, but a man can only do so much. So we may get wet out here today, but we're gonna try to catch some fish in the meantime. So this first bait going down here, skipjack head. I'm gonna suspend 2 baits today. So we've got a Carolina rig, that's an 8-ounce egg sinker, down to a swivel, down to an 80-pound monofilament leader. It's got a 10-aught size circle hook, and a few inches below the bait, I've got a Catfish Sumo bait stalker fly. I'm gonna drop this straight down, so 20 feet of water here. Boy, it's on bottom just like that, but I'm gonna feel that sinker there. I'm gonna reel down just a little bit, raise up, and put that in the rod holder. So now our bait's down there 17, 18 feet deep. And we're gonna drift along a ledge, and I'm gonna show you here on the graph in a minute. As soon as I get these baits set up, I'll show you kind of where we're at here and how we're gonna drift today. As I about put that hook in my hand as I drop it there, we're struggling today. Well, one of them mornings, y'all. I'm out here about an hour and a half after I wanted to be out here. I've had some stuff going on at the house today I'll let you know about here in a little bit. I got some stories to tell today, y'all. But here we go on this same exact rig. Only difference is we got a chunk of skipjack instead of the head on this bait. We're gonna drop it down. I'm gonna get myself positioned here on this ledge like I want us to be. Now we're going for a drift, y'all. We're fishing with 2 rods today. I'm in my pedal kayak, just my basic setup here. I've got 2 rod holders, 2 rods, and a basic little 5-inch graph there that's got a map card, and it shows us depth, speed, and water temperature. And that's about all we need for what we're doing today. So I'm gonna slide us back here just a little bit, and then I'm gonna show you the graph. So when I'm drifting, and today we're taking a main channel ledge, kind of around a river bend. I'm starting here about the halfway mark of a river bend, and so it's a little foggy out here still from all the rain and stuff we've had, but the river goes back up that way, loops around. This is downstream, we're drifting this way, and it comes down here and loops around this bend. So it's kind of it's not a real sharp bend, it's not a real deep bend. Again, the water through here is going to be pretty consistent, at least from looking at it on a map. I've never fished here before. We're going exploring today, y'all. This is brand new water to me. But the depth looks pretty consistent through here, in the 20s, low 20s in depth. So we're going to take this stretch, this outside bend, and we're going to work the break line. So when I say break line, what I mean is you've got to, well, let's catch a fish first. Oh, he just popped off. All right, folks, that's a good sign we're already getting bit. I like it. What I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted. You got the shoreline here. It comes straight off, very steep angle, and then it kind of bottoms out here, and it's pretty flat all the way across the river till you get to the other side where it comes up real steep again. So when you're looking at it on a map card, on a contour map, I'm gonna try to work around my rods here so you can see. So here's the land. Those black lines that are real close together, that's signifying the change in depth, rapid change in depth, which is that land coming straight down. We got hit again. He wants it, by gosh. Has he got it that time? Boy, we're hooked up here. We ain't had that line in the water hardly any time at all. We're already hooked up, y'all. Man, this is a good sign. This is a real good sign. Anytime you're fishing brand new water, okay, it's a small fish, but hey, it's fish number 1, and we're just a few minutes in. Man, when you're fishing new water, that's a good sign to get bit right away. I have had this place marked on a map for a long time. Never been here though. I said, you know what, today's the day. We're gonna try it out. And we're already hooked up here. It's a small fish, but hey, it's a fish nonetheless, man. That'll get the skunk out. No matter what happens from here, we didn't get skunked today. So I'm gonna back us off here just a little bit. The current keeps wanting to kind of push us up on this ledge, and I want to back us off I want to be just on the bottom edge of this ledge, which I keep trying to show you on the map. These fish don't want you learning how to drift a river bend. Apparently, they don't want me sharing this information. Let me bust out some more bait here. I think we got 5 or 6 skipjack in here. I got these yesterday, so they're good and fresh. Didn't get many, but I got enough for us to catch some fish with today. Just gonna take another chunk. I'm gonna get my pliers here and I'm gonna cut this fin off. We're gonna do a head and a chunk pretty much all morning, I think. The heads, we may run out, if we're on a good bite today, we may run out of head baits pretty quick, just due to the fact that we've only got 5 or 6 in there total, but we're gonna try to make it count today. That's a good sign, man. I don't care if it's a small fish, just to get one this quickly into the trip on a place that I've never been before is very encouraging. So let me get this drop back down, and I'm gonna try to get out what I was trying to say initially. Maybe we'll get it out. We got all morning to get it out though. I'm doing an unedited video today. This is going to be raw and uncut. You're seeing everything from right now when we're dropping baits down till when I roll out of here today. I'm fished probably 3 or 4 hours this morning till some more storms move in and all that. But anyway, so the contour lines here close together signify a rapid change in depth. And then over here you see it's just solid blue where it kind of levels out. What we want to do all the way around this bend, we want to work that edge. The edge right where it starts to come up. And those squiggles right there, that's fish along the bottom, by the way. So we're going to work that edge all the way down through here this morning for however long we drift. Now if we get on some fish, Lord, y'all got water on your lens there. Let me take care of that. There you go. I done wiped your face off for you. Don't say I never done nothing for you, folks. But we're just going to take a stretch of this and drift this morning for 3 or 4 hours here. If we get on a good bite, I'll pedal back up. We'll come through them again. But otherwise, we're just going to stay on the move, cover water. I kind of just want to explore out here. This is a pretty large, I mean, again, it doesn't make a real sharp bend, but I mean, it's a I guess a wide bend, you would say, because it's a good distance here. So we could have covered, I could have went further on up, but I'm late getting out here this morning, y'all. I got on water about 1.5 hours later than what I wanted to. So I thought I'm just gonna pedal up here just a little ways and we'll start our drift. We'll do about the halfway mark of this bend on down for however long we cover. So anyway, that's how I like to set up. We got them squiggles more, that's probably more fish, man. The current's got us moving about 0.5 miles an hour. Water temp right now, 73.9 degrees, which is another reason why I wanted to come fish where I'm at today. We're kind of in the spawn season here in Tennessee right now. And so I thought where I'm at today, we might have some cooler water temperatures. We definitely have some flow. And I thought that might help my cause as far as stumbling into some fish. So during the spawn, during this time of year, I expect to get numbers of fish. Bigger fish may be harder to come by, and it's just time of year type of thing. Plus, this section of the river, I have no idea what to expect having not been here before. So typically, spawn, not the best time to be trying new places, because if you don't get bit, is it because there's just no fish there? Or is it because of the spawn? You don't know. But anyway, we're going to explore and find out. Good news is, if you're seeing this video y'all have got information I don't have. If you're seeing this video, we got on some fish today, because if all we got was that one little one there from earlier, this video wouldn't see the light of day, so something went right for us out here. But I'm gonna put y'all on the chest. We're gonna go for this drift. And whatever happens, happens today, man. I'm gonna tell you some stories on the way. I've got a update for my battle that I'm waging against the utility board who tore up my yard last week. I've got a story of the reason why I'm an hour and a half late getting out here this morning. It's because my house is infested. And apparently Walmart is not open 24 hours a day anymore. Who knew? I don't go there in the middle of the night anyway, but when you need to go there in the middle of the night, guess what? They're closed. So that was a surprise today, which also contributed to me getting out here late. And we're gonna try to dodge some rain. The rain is just going to be kind of sporadic pop-up rain showers and storms today, so yeah, it is what it is. If you spend your whole life waiting on perfect weather, you never go fishing. So we're out here, and it did rain on the way down here, driving down here, but it's fine right now. So I got the rain jacket. There's a big splash right down there. I got the rain jacket and the umbrella, so my poor man's bimini top, if you will. So we're gonna try to ward it off best we can. From what I can see on the map though, depth through here looks pretty consistent. We've got this one, and I honestly don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a creek. I don't know if it's a little pocket or cove. I don't know, but it's kind of an opening here. It's one of the few through this area, so I imagine there could be an opportunity to get bit either kind of around this opening here, or I would expect maybe downstream from it here could be a good opportunity. This type of place is one that I would oftentimes like to anchor on, but today, just time of year and whatnot, I kind of want to get out here and just drift and cover water. I'm fishing new water. I like to cover water. I like to move. Now, how we're fishing today, we're suspending baits, right? That's my favorite way to fish. That's why we're doing this. Is this the best technique for the depth we're fishing at? Be honest with you, probably not, okay? I don't typically like suspending baits in water that's less than about 20 feet deep, which is kind of on the cutoff of where we're at through here at 20 feet. The reason I don't like it is because, well, first off, I do like it when you catch fish suspended with only a few feet of line out, because, I mean, I'm gonna back us off this ledge a little bit too here. It's a lot of fun, man. When you play tug of war with only 17, 18 feet of line, man, hang on to your britches, buddy. It's on. Even a small fish, I mean, hell, that last one we got there, small fish took the rod down in a big way. When you're fighting them on a short line, you're gonna have some fun. So that part, the catching part, I really like. I just don't think typically, oh, right here in front of this, here we go. Oh, he dropped it. That's probably another small. I see him right there on where he was at on the screen too. Look right there. Right there he was, folks. Don't need no live scope to see that, do we? He's back. He's back. Let me get the camera back in the chest here. He's gonna get it in a second. You think he's got it now? Pick up on that rod, y'all. Pick up on that rod. I told you, man. I told you, we're gonna have some nice takedowns today. If we hook into a 40, 50 plus pound fish down through here with 18 feet of line out, man, you talk about some fun we're gonna have. We are gonna go on a kayak sleigh ride if that happens. And it could, it very well could. I honestly don't know what to expect. Time of year, new water, I don't know what to expect. I'm completely open to anything. I don't think this one here is going to end up being, he might be a fun size maybe. But boy, it's fun. It's another one on the chunk. We're gonna keep the head chunk combo going now. For now, I got a lot of confidence in them head baits. Here comes some bubbles up. I want to get a look at this thing. I want to see what we got here. It's a blue. I felt him roll. I know it's a blue. Yeah, it's a fun sizer. Well, fish number 2, y'all. Where we at in this? Man, 15 minutes in, we've already got 2 fish, buddy. This is, you know, I had a lousy morning to start my day, y'all, but the morning's getting better by the second, buddy. It's getting better by the second. I'm gonna tire him out here just another smidge, and then we're gonna grab hold of him. I may give him some front camera time. He won't make my Instagram, but I might make his if we take a picture. No, he's gonna get us all wet. If the rain don't get us, the fish will. Yeah, it ain't bad, buddy. Old fun sizer. Oh, hey, you just hit your head there on the kayak fish. You're gonna knock yourself silly now. Act like somebody. Act like somebody and come on up in here. Okay, man. Okay. He had the bait there. I'll give it to him, I reckon. How'd y'all get, hold on, fish. Not only did you splash me, you splashed them too. These fish, I'm telling you, man, we're gonna get wet today, y'all. If it ain't the rain, the fish is gonna get us. Okay. Hey, fun sizer, man. Fish number 2. That's a good time. I'm telling you, buddy. When you dangle a short line, it's on when they hit it. This fish was a pretty good battle here on it. We hook into a big one today. Holy cow, man. All right, fish, here's what I want to do. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get us another bait. I'm gonna pedal us up here just, again, right above this. We're gonna drift back through with another chunk. Because, I mean, I'm still seeing some stuff on the graph there. This fish has got some friends with him, so. Get on out of here, fish. You go tell your people what a good time you had. Maybe they'll want to come visit. We'll start charging his friends an admission fee to come up in here in this kayak, won't we? We'll take their lunch money, won't they? Okay, y'all. Let me get you back here in the chest, and we'll grab us another chunk and put on. Man, we're off to a good start. This is very encouraging. I had, saw this place on the map, and it's just one of them places. It's been on my to-do list, but I got a lot of stuff on my to-do list. And I thought, today's the day to do it. I'm ahead on videos right now, so if it turned into a complete bust, not a big deal. And I thought, just with the location of where I'm at, we might get some cooler water temperatures, so maybe, possibly, some of these fish would maybe the spawn would be delayed here, possibly, or, we'll see. But either way, we're a few minutes in, already got 2 fish. So regardless of why they're here or why they're biting, they're biting. So here's going to be our next bait, and what I'm going to do, before we drop it down, we're going to just put this back in our cooler. And we're going to go back up here. Although, look at this. Look at this right here. Look at all the marks right there under us, man. They're kind of right there in that opening. See where that opening is right here? Those fish are kind of stacked up right there in it. This is the kind of place, we're just gonna run right back up here. I want to drift through them here with 2 baits in the water. This is the kind of place, though, that I would often be anchoring on. My regular viewers, you have seen me anchor fish in places like this a lot, because you will get fish not only working in and out of, and I have no idea what this is. Again, I don't know if it's a creek, if it's just a little cove that goes up in here, I don't know. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. What you have is, you have a shallow water feeding area that's probably loaded with bait and shad, since there's really nowhere else out here in this general area for them shad to work up into. They'll be out of the current. So you have a shallow water feeding area, and you have a clear path for fish to take to move up into it. So if you put yourself in that path long enough, you're gonna get bit as fish work in and out of there. Now the other thing, and how I would set up on a spot like this if I was anchored, I would be out from it a little bit so that I get fish working up and down this ledge also. So you get them going both ways. You get them coming in and out, and you get them going up and down. But while we will probably hit this spot again in the future and anchor it, what I want to do today is cover water and drift, just time of year. The fact that this is new to me, I also kind of want to just, and I don't know how much of this we're going to see with this river bend being as wide as it is and all that through here, but oftentimes on river bends, you will get some debris that settles and piles up. And so as we're drifting along today, I'm gonna have an eye on the graph, and if we see any kind of objects down there, like sunken trees and things like that, I'm gonna be hitting a waypoint so that I can come back to them in the future and specifically target those spots. So we're gonna have our eyes open as we go down through here today. So anyway, I just come back up. We're right above this opening here. And again, you can see I'm just off the edge. Right now we're like 19 feet, just off the edge. We're gonna drift down through that again. Current flow is perfect right through here. 0.4, 0.5, I mean, that is ideal drifting speed, in my opinion. So, hey, y'all, we're 2 fish already, man. We're 2 fish already. So, like I was trying to say, for fishing, man, they don't want me telling y'all anything about this. But when you got shallow water like we're at, and when I say shallow is relative. 20 feet, hell, that may be deeper than a lot of the rivers that some of y'all out there watching this video may be fishing. But shallow is a relative term, depending on how deep your river is. So oftentimes, my regular viewers, you see me fish 60, 80. Sometimes if I'm on Nickajack Reservoir, you'll see me fishing 110 feet deep. So it just depends on where you're at as to what is shallow. But for me, 20 feet shallow. And while you can catch some fish suspending in water less than 20 feet deep, usually I don't think it's the best technique to do it. Usually in the shallower water, I either want to anchor and cast my baits out, or I want to drag and have my baits a good distance behind me. And the reason for that is just with the shallow water, first off, you're much closer to the fish. So any sounds you make in the kayak, you know, with our baits being down vertical, like we're right on top of these fish. And so any sounds we make, any movement in the kayak that's disturbing the water, like these fish are going to know about it, and they have the potential to spook. The other thing, and you know, in the sound, when I'm sitting still in a plastic kayak, I'm not making a lot of noise, okay? But sound travels through water a lot faster than it does air. So any noise is something, but now it would be far worse if we were, say, in an aluminum boat and you're walking around, you're moving, those steps in that aluminum, like it's gonna be a lot louder down there, and you've also got the hull slap when the water hits the hull. Now here today, it's calm. The wind's not blowing. flat, calm conditions. So we're not going to have any hull slap. But let's say the wind was up a little bit. And yeah, just a little chop splashing against the hull. If you've ever heard water hit against an aluminum boat, it's much louder than when it's hitting a fiberglass boat or a plastic kayak. So a kayak allows you to do a little better job of suspending in shallower water than an aluminum boat, in my opinion. But still, the biggest thing is when you have water that's kind of clear, and our water out here today, it's, I don't know what you'd call it, lightly stained maybe, but mostly clear. There's 2 or 3 feet of visibility. When you're fishing daytime hours, today is not going to be as big an issue because it's cloudy. But let's say you're fishing daytime hours and it's a sunny day or a partly cloudy day. When you're drifting along in the shallow water and you've got pretty good water visibility, you're putting a shadow over as you come across some fish, a big shadow. And that in itself has a chance to spook some fish. Now, in a kayak, is that as big a deal as in a boat? Most likely not. Especially if you're in a small kayak like I am today. This is my Old Town kayak. It has a much smaller profile than my other kayak, my Hobie kayak. So when this kayak's drifting downriver, I mean, there's logs that drift downriver bigger than my kayak. So I am not putting off as big a shadow as, say, somebody in a big 22 foot long Sea Arc aluminum boat, you know. So because of the shadow, because of the noise, I don't typically feel like suspending baits in water less than 20 feet is the best tactic. You will catch fish doing it. I've caught some big fish doing it. But mainly, the reason I'm doing this today versus the other techniques is just for the pure fun factor. This is my favorite way to fish. If I can catch fish doing this, this is what I want to do. If I was in a tournament out here today and I was fishing this stretch of the river at these depths, I wouldn't be doing this because, again, I don't think it's necessarily the best technique for either numbers of fish or for the biggest fish possible. But since we're out here, we're just out here fun fishing, man. We're just out here, we're just going to spend a few hours enjoying ourselves today. I want to do what's the most enjoyable technique. Even if I don't catch as many fish or as big a fish as what I could have, the fact that this technique is the most fun makes up for it, in my opinion. So that's why I do what I do. And I've emphasized this before. And this is true regardless if you're suspending baits at deeper depths, but especially so when you're in shallow water. You better have your rod holders securely mounted on. Mine are bolted into the hull. I've got access through that front hatch, and this hull is pretty thick. Like, it's a thicker plastic hull than most kayaks. So I've got 4 bolts going through them rod holder bases with a big washer and a nut on there. Now, if I was in a thinner plastic kayak, I'd have a backing plate, but I don't need it here for this kayak. But nevertheless, some things are bolted on. Like, they're on there solid. They're not going anywhere. And that's important when you're going to be having some big takedowns. I mean, I can't emphasize it enough. When you're using circle hooks, I keep my drags pretty tight anyway. I want them fish loading up the rods and setting the hook on themselves. Like, you got to have secure, you got to trust that your rod holders ain't going to get ripped off a kayak. And so if you're using like gear track bases, forget about it. You're going to lose some gear. You better be ready to grab that rod quick. So that's a little tip from somebody who's done this a time or two. I see a lot of guys, social media and stuff, they get in their first kayak, they're rigging it out, and they've got some of these kayaks here, like this one here, it's got these plastic gear tracks. It's a thicker plastic, but still, it's going to flex. And some of the gear tracks and other brands of kayaks even more flimsy. So you get that flex, them things, they'll get ripped right out of the tracks, or you'll rip the tracks off your kayak. Because oftentimes, and these here, I've not taken these off. I'm pretty sure they have like a brass insert where them screws, well, like they're screwed into the hull that way. But some kayaks, I had that new canoe that we'd got my girlfriend there a few years back. It was an awful kayak, but those gear tracks were just literally screwed in places. There was no brass insert. They would be just screwed into the hull. So you get some flex back and forth, you're gonna widen that hole where them screws are out. Them things will just pop right off. So you got to be real careful with that, depending on your kayak and whatnot. If you have access to the inside of your hull, by all means, I tell you, bolt them on. You won't regret it. As we got a barge coming upriver. Well, we've drifted through right here again. I've seen some fish on the screen as we've drifted by. And those don't necessarily, just because you see fish on the screen, is it catfish? Is it carp? Is it buffalo? Is it drum? Who knows? But we saw some fish as we drifted through. I may come back up here. Let's drift down right here to the edge of this. And then we may just make one more pass up through here above this and come back through it again and just see if we get something, see if we can trigger one of those fish to bite there that we've seen. But yeah, man, it's a fun way to fish. If you can, oh, well, we're drifting up. Y'all got a holler now. We're gonna come up fast and get ourselves snagged. Here, let's just pedal back up right quick. But if you got a place with some flow, if your river has got some flow in that kind of, let's say 0.2, 0.3 mile an hour range, up to summertime, I mean, I like drifting at a half a mile an hour. I find it to be a very productive speed. But this time of year, I mean, you can drift 0.7, 0.8, up to 1 mile an hour. So if you're fishing a river that's got some depth and got some slower flow and just barely moving up to about 1 mile an hour range, this is a fun technique to do. And you can put out as many rods as you want. Now this kayak here, I've obviously just got two rods, which is plenty enough. If we're on the fish, we're gonna have our fun, man, with 2 rods. But my other kayak, I got 4 rod holders, so I'll drift with 4. And it's not uncommon when you go through a school, both rods go down at the same time. If you got 4 rods, all 4 will go down sometimes. So, I mean, it can be a very fun way to fish, because when you got all your baits, I mean, they'll be all close together. So when you go through a school of fish, like, all of those baits are going through that school. So they're all going to be competing. When one of them hits that first bait, like, they all want it. So they're all just attacking those baits. And so all your rods will sometimes go down in that situation. And it's a fun time, man. I enjoy it. So spin fishing is the most, I don't know any other way that you could possibly have more fun catching a catfish than suspending baits. I mean, the only way I really don't enjoy catching catfish is with planer boards, because you got so much line out, you got the board on there, like, it's not fun at all. I don't know why people do it, honestly. I know why guides do it, because they gotta try to get their clients fish and stuff. It makes sense for them, but any just recreational fishermen, like, I don't know why anybody would want to use planer boards. If you know what you're doing as far as setting yourself up on the contours and you really work those break lines, you don't need to cover the whole daggone river out here. But I mean, just from a fun standpoint, like, it's hard to beat this, man. It's real hard to beat it. Now, that's what I want to do today, is have some fun, y'all, because we got enough crap going on at my house. I've told my regular viewers the story of the utility board and my war that I'm trying to wage with them. I'm going to lose this war, but I'm after it anyway. And now I'm fighting another war inside my house with an infestation, and that's what caused me to be late out here today. So I'm going to tell you some stories today. What all you want to hear first today? You want to hear about my infestation, or you want to hear about the utility board? Y'all tell me. We'll get to both of them today. I guess I'll give you the update on utility board first, since that's the ongoing saga. My regular viewers have already... I carp fished over the weekend, which really turned into a buffalo trip because I was catching mostly buffalo. Dang good time. Best day of buffalo fishing I have ever had. I mean, I didn't break my PB or anything, but just numbers wise, like I never caught that many buffalo in one session before. It was amazing. I filmed that video on Saturday. The day before, on Friday, and I'm not going to go through every detail of this story because a lot of you have already heard this, and it took me about an hour to get the story out because I kept catching so many fish. But I'll give you the Cliff's Notes version because I know a lot of you are new to my channel. A lot of you only watch my catfish videos, so you may not have heard this. I wouldn't say I had a meltdown, but I'm pissed, and I'm still pissed about it. The utility board. So anyway, Friday, Cliff's Notes version of this story. Friday, utility board comes to my house. It's tree trimming day. No trees on my property need to be trimmed, so none get trimmed. But trees on my neighbor's property do need cut, and they cut them. But instead of going up her driveway with their heavy machinery, oh no, they didn't do that. Instead, they drove through my yard and my grass. And so now I've got tire ruts, some of them up to 4 inches deep, through my yard. So it looks like they either drove up and down multiple times or they had multiple vehicles going through. And the worst part, they went behind my shed with their vehicle. So I've talked about this in other videos too, but I had some dirt brought in last fall because that area behind my shed, there used to be trees there, and I had them cut down, and now all the root systems and the stumps and everything have rotted out, and that ground there where that root system is decaying, it's sinking down. So I had this dirt brought in, I've smoothed all that up, been able to drive the mower across it, yada, 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 everything's been good. Well, here come the utility board, their heavy machinery, and guess what they done? Drove right across that area, sunk it down 4 inches, 4 daggone inches. So I'm pissed about it, man. They didn't leave no note, not an I'm sorry, nothing. It's just, screw you, Justin. We tore up your yard. What you gonna do about it? We're the utility board. You can't do a damn thing. So this is Friday afternoon when I realized this, because I was gone when they were there. What's going on right here? Look right out here in front. We got the barge. Don't look at that. Look right here in front of us. We got all these bubbles. I don't know. There's something. Is that something feeding right there? Something's right there. What is that? Looks like multiple fish. What is it? Is it a gar? It's a lot of bubbles right there. I don't know what that is. Holler at that barge over there and ask them if they know what's going on with all that commotion right there. It appears to be gone now. Meanwhile, I'm seeing some stuff here on the screen. Oh, there it is again. don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is. It looked I got one glimpse of something long. I wonder if it ain't like a gar. It's multiple fish. It's something feeding, I reckon. This is the damnedest thing. That is the damnedest thing. That bar, I guarantee you, as many miles that barge driver covers, he's probably seen something like that before. I don't know what it is. Looks like multiple fish though. It's gone again. You never know what you're gonna see out here, folks. I have no idea what that is. I know we drifted over a pile of fish though and didn't catch any of them, so. I don't remember what I was talking about now. Oh, the damn utility boards. Anyway, yes, they tear at my yard. Didn't leave a note, not an I'm sorry, not a screw you, not anything. So this is of course Friday afternoon when I realized this. They're already closed. So I filmed a video of it. And I was pissed when I filmed the video, and I was like, I showed it there on my carp trip, and I was like, you know, is this the best video to maybe send whenever I figured out who I needed to send this to? Like, is this the best idea to do this? Should I do another one where I'm a little bit more calm? Or should I just go in there just full blast? And so anyway, I went out there to the utility board yesterday. I'm filming it. This is Tuesday. I went there Monday, yesterday. And you go out there utility board. It's a huge complex now because they've been price gouging us for so long on our utility bills that they're able to buy up all this property and just build this big complex and nice buildings and whatnot. And so I go out there and you walk in, there's an old lady sitting at the desk, and I don't really know what her job is other than to direct people where to go because it's such a big building. But she says, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I hope so. I don't know where to go, but I gotta have words with somebody about your tree trimming crew destroying my property. So she sends me over down the hall to these other girls, and they're behind this glass. Like, you gotta talk to them through glass. It may be bulletproof glass, I don't know. I guess I'm not the first person they've pissed off, best I can figure. So I get this young girl, and she wants to know how she can help me, and I'm like, listen, darling, don't take this personal because I ain't pissed off at you, but I'm pissed off at your organization. Now, I told her what had happened, and I said, I need to find the person responsible because I'm gonna rip somebody's ass today. I said, I don't wanna rip your ass, but I wanna rip somebody's ass today because I'm pissed. And so anyway, come to find out the guy that handles all that ain't there. He's out in the field, which leads me to believe he was probably at my house and personally overseeing this operation when they tore up my yard, which makes it even worse, because it's one thing, I don't mind showing my ass in situations like this where I've been wronged by a business, but I don't want to just show my ass to some random $12 an hour employee who's just trying to get through the day at a job they hate. You know, I want to direct my anger toward the appropriate person. So anyway, I called yesterday after she gave me his phone extension there at the utility board. And I've called and left a message. Now, I was nice on the message. I did not cuss. I said my name, my address, the issue I had. I was firm, I was direct, and I wanted to call back. So if my phone buzzes today, y'all, I got it on vibe right now, so don't disrupt the video. But if you hear it buzzing or feel it buzzing there, holler at me. We may get, this is videos live here, raw and uncut. Y'all may hear this conversation when me and utility board person, supervisor, talks about this. Because this damage in my yard, like, I can fix it my damn self. 20, 30 minutes, get out there with a hoe and a mattock. I can do it, but I shouldn't have to do it because they shouldn't have been in my yard to begin with. They should have went through my neighbor's driveway to access her property, not mine. It'd be one thing if they were trimming trees on my property, but they were not. They shouldn't have been on my property. So anyway, I'm pissed about it. And so far, I did not get a call back yesterday afternoon, but I will give him a pass on that because I had went out yesterday morning. My plan was I'd filmed that carp trip on Saturday. I was going to try to get bait on Sunday and do some catfishing Monday, yesterday. I was going to come down here. But we had some storms roll through Sunday morning. When the storms passed, the wind was up, and I was like, you know what, I don't want to fool with it. I'll just get bait Monday morning. So I went out, got these skipjack here, and then I went to the utility board after that. So it was after lunch when I got there. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't check his messages yesterday. But if you're not gonna check your messages in the afternoon, one would think you should check your messages in the morning. So I expect a call today at some point. So stay tuned either for that conversation on this video or an update on the next video after I've gotten this call, assuming I get the call. But it's the almighty utility board. What do you do? Like, who do they don't answer to nobody. They tear up your yard, so what? We got a right of way. Like, they've got a built-in excuse, and you can't, what are you gonna do? You gonna complain? I mean, it ain't like you can say, well, I'm gonna take my business elsewhere. There's nowhere else to go. Every one of these utility boards have a monopoly in the area they serve. And you gotta choose your battles in life. Do you wanna piss off the utility board when your power's out? Do you wanna be that guy that they know that they don't like? Do you think they're gonna come running out to turn back on my power? I mean, so it's one of them things. It's kind of like, I don't like the IRS either, but I know not to try to pick a fight with them. So it's one of them situations. I should let it go. The smart thing to do is to let it go. But I'm still pissed off enough that I don't want to let it go. So it's like one of them situations in life, sometimes you just, sometimes you just gotta unleash. You just gotta vent. You just gotta let it out. So y'all may hear that today. So that's the update for those of you that was, I know, just waiting, chomping at the bit for me to post my next video so you could get an update on this. I just know some of you were interested in it. Not really, said no one ever. I'll tell you what I'm interested in right now the most is I'm interested in catching a fish. I thought when we got bit, them two fish just boom, boom right away. Like, I'm thinking it's on. Like, we're about to really tear them up. And now, hell, we've went a good spell here without getting bit. We'll eventually come across some more. That's the thing about drift fishing is you take a section of these ledges and there'll be dead stretches where you go and just nothing happening. No taps, no bites, nothing. There's no fish there. And then you hit that school and it's boom, 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 chaos. Them fish move on, you lose the school, you keep drifting, you keep going, boom, happens again. So we're gonna hit some fish as we go down through here today. But we may have some downtime potentially. That's just part of catfishing. Sometimes you get on a bite that's just constant, rods going down, but most of the time it kind of comes in waves. If you're anchor fishing, you'll have waves of fish come through and feed, and you'll get bit for a little while and then nothing. And then you'll have some more come through. And in situations like today where you're drifting, or maybe you're trolling, or you're dragging, either way you're covering water, you go through schools of fish. So we'll hit them again, but I'm chomping at the bit here, man. It got me all excited first thing. I'm ready to catch somebody. That first fish bit so quick. That one fella that complains about my videos, man, I can't remember. This guy commented recently, and I can't remember if I had mentioned it on the carp trip or not. But anyway, this guy commented recently, and he had watched one of my edited videos. And, was it an edited video? I done forgot which video it was that he commented on now. I don't remember. Hell, now I'm confused. I don't remember. But the bottom line was, regardless of what video it was, I can't remember. But the premise of his comment was he had watched for 2.5 minutes and he hadn't seen a fish, and he was pissed about it. And I'm like, who the hell catches fish within 2 minutes of anything? Now, we got close to it today. And maybe on some of my ultralight trips where I'm throwing the gulp, maybe within 2.5 minutes I can get that first fish. But I'm like, boy, if that's your standard, if 2.5 minutes is the standard, boy, you're on the wrong channel. It's this time of year, buddy. I'm gonna get hit with it all day long, every day in the comment box this time of year. We get a lot of casual viewers. The good thing about this time of year is your views go up a lot as a fishing channel. So that's good. But boy, you get a lot of them casual viewers, and just the comment box is a cesspool. Most people's good. I mean, I say a cesspool. It's 98, 99% positive, good people. But if you were in a bathtub and somebody dropped a turd in there, that turd may only take up 1 or 2% of that bathtub. But you don't want to swim in that bathtub anymore, do you? Because it's got a turd floating in it. So it's like that. It's like that this time of the year in my comment box. It's like, I know 98 out of 100 comments are going to be pretty good. But every 100 comments, that 1, 2, whew, boy, I get dumber sometimes when I leave the comment box. Like, I feel like my IQ drops. When you interact with stupid people, you would think that you would make the dumber person smarter. It don't work that way. When you interact with somebody dumber than you, it makes you dumber. And some of the comments I get, like, there's no grammar, no punctuation. The words are all either in all caps, or they're all small letters, or I had one comment recently, like every word, the first letter of the word was capitalized. Like, that must be a new thing. Like, he went to some work on it and then still managed to misspell some words. How is it, and I've touched on this before, but like, it's 2024. Every device you have, I bet you, I ain't had a flip phone in years, but I bet you some people that still got the flip phones have access to spell check. How are all these words getting misspelled? Like, what device are they using that doesn't have spell check, that like basic words get misspelled? I mean, some of these comments, like I have to really pause and like cipher them to figure out what they're trying to say. I don't know, man. It's just the time of year. The good thing is the views go up. You get into fall, winter, your views go down, but the comment box is way better because it's just normal, regular viewers. Now here's another story I'll tell you, and this is, I almost kind of have a complex about this because I've been hit with this one so much. And it seems to happen every time I switch cameras or microphone systems, this happens. So for years, I used the Sony action cams. And then I switched and went to a GoPro with a Rode wireless mic. And when I made that switch, I started getting all these people commenting, accusing me of changing my voice and changing my accent. And I'm like, that's stupid. Like, I sound how I sound, I talk how I talk. Like, why would I want to change my voice? Like, what's the hell's the purpose of that? It makes no sense. And time goes by. I guess people get adapted to me using the GoPro with the wireless mic, and I don't hear anything about it anymore. Well, I was having trouble with that wireless mic connecting to my GoPro. Like, I kept losing footage. I'd get home some days and just have to scrap the footage because I'd be on mute the whole time. Like, I guess I maybe bump it, the cord that connects your transmitter to the camera so that your wireless mic can work with the camera. Like, maybe I bump it, maybe I didn't plug it in all the way. I don't know, but either way, I'd get home and like I lost a lot of footage because I just couldn't get the damn thing to connect 100% of the time. And so I finally said, hell with it. And I went back to just using the regular GoPro microphone. Well, when I made that change, obviously, Rode mic sounds a little bit different than the standard GoPro mic. So what do you know? Here's people back in my comments saying, Justin, you're changing your accent. You're trying to make yourself sound different. You know, you're pathetic, you're fake, you're blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I sound the exact same. I'm using a different microphone. But people are just losing their damn minds over it. Boy, we're going up shallow here for some reason. Okay, now we're back to 20 feet. Had a little rise right there. I don't want to get a sun. But they're just losing their damn minds over. So fast forward, I used that GoPro with just the stock mic for a long time. Well, now I'm doing all these unedited videos, and when you're running a camera continuously, the GoPro overheats. On a winter day, no problems. On a day that's sunny, it could be sunny and 70 degrees. If direct sun is hitting that GoPro, it's going to fry it and overheat. It's awful. So DJI had sent me their camera there last fall to try out, and the good thing about the DJI camera is it does overheat, but it don't stop recording. Like you'll lose access to your screen, but the camera keeps rolling, which is nice on these unedited videos as it keeps going. Now the video quality is not quite as good as GoPro, but you're solving one problem that's more important to me than the other problem that you're creating. So anyway, been using it. But again, you use it, you switch microphones, now you sound different. And so I got some comments then about it. And then it just gets better. That DJI camera that sent me, I broke it. I broke the USB port off. And so I had to send it in for repair, which they repaired it very quickly, but I filmed some videos with the GoPro during that time. And guess what? Again, going back to a different camera now, I sound different. So I mean, I just constantly, every time I switch to a different camera or microphone, I have these people accusing me of throwing my accent or faking my accent or trying to change my voice. And I'm like, first off, what would be the motivation for me to do such a thing? Like, who the hell cares how I sound like? Like, I talk how I talk, I sound how I sound, I laugh how I laugh. Like, it just is what it is. Like, I'm going to sound how I sound. There's no, what would be the motivation if I was some kind of ventriloquist or some kind of linguist? I don't even know what you call it. Like, why would I want to change my voice? Like, what would be the advantage in doing that? Like, one way or the other. Like, why would I want to fake my accent? Or why would I want to not have my accent? Like, I've been accused of both things. Like, it makes no damn sense. There's no, like, my voice makes no damn difference to 99.99% of the audience. Like, there's no benefit from me doing any change. And so I'm convinced these people, they just want a reason to hate me. Like, they just want a reason to be pissed off at me. And me doing these unedited videos, I took away a lot of their ammunition, because first I was a liar with the flies. I wasn't really catching fish on the flies, supposedly. I was reeling them up on a normal hook and bait and then hooking them the fly, dropping them back down or something. I was lying about that. Well, unedited videos, I disproved that. Then it's, well, I'm spending all day, every day on the water and making it look like I'm catching a bunch of fish just back to back to back, as we finally get one here. It's going to be a nice takedown. Oh, he's pulling line, buddy. He's pulling it. He was stripping some line, man. This one ate the head. We get this one up here, we're probably going, even if we get this head bait back, we're going to switch it, because it's been down there since the start. This is another, we'll call him smaller fun size right here. Boy, he nailed it though. I'm telling you, man, short line, a fish like this is going to rip some drag when he takes off. Hopefully we're about to come into some more fish here. It's been a minute, y'all. Been several minutes. But hey, fish number 3. I come out here to catch fish. We catching fish. Not as many and as quickly as I would like, but by gosh, we're getting them. Come here, fish. This fish don't give a crap how I sound either. This fish don't want to hear me no matter what accent or what language I speak in. Yeah, I got a feeling he's going to act out. There we go. There we go. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was. I knew he wasn't done. I'll tell you what, fish. If you're borderline of whether I should give you some front camera. Most days you probably wouldn't get front camera time. But today, if you behave yourself and act like somebody. Here, I'll tell you what, first things first. Can I set y'all up here a minute? This fish acting a dang fool, and I gotta look over this camera to see what I'm seeing, and sometimes I like having y'all on these trips. Sometimes y'all get in the way. Come on, fish, open up. Boy, he don't want to open his mouth for nothing. Goodness gracious, this fish does not want to open his mouth. Oh, goodness. Could have done without that fish. Could have done without all that flopping around now. Ornery thing, y'all. Ornery. I can get this hook out. We're going to switch out this bait in a minute. It's about washed out. I mean, it honestly, it still looks okay. We're still going to switch it out. We'll keep it in case we end up needing it, but we're going to switch it out. Yeah, it's fun size length. but a skinnier fish right here. Bye. When he took that, I saw him hit it and start swimming off. I'm like, that rod's going to go down hard. Even this fish, I mean, he was stripping some line there in the beginning. So, you see that? Tried to rip my glove off. He'd have had that glove on eBay before he got back down there to his house. And he's crapped on my hand, I think. He's crapped all down my leg. Oh. Oh, God almighty, y'all. How did y'all, I get dutied all over. He's crapped in my hand. He's crapped all down my leg. And there's what's left of the turd, by gosh. Golly bum, y'all. How did, dadgummit, he's treating us like a toilet here. Yeah, he said S-H-I-T on you, Justin. Dadgummit. Anytime you get doo-dooed on, buddy, that's all right. I'd rather it be catfish poop than human poop, that's for sure. All right. Let's get our next head here. I had that one cut there earlier. Kind of wonder if we shouldn't go ahead and maybe change out that chunk too while we're at it. I think maybe we should. Probably should. Let's go ahead and put a fresh piece on. Might as well just spruce everything up. It's been a while. Not gonna be too conservative with bait. I mean, the bait we got, with only using 2 rods, we don't. The good thing about using 2 rods, here's this bait right here. You don't go through a lot of bait when you're only using 2. And so even if we get on a good bite with the skipjack we got, we should be able to manage, but we will keep that other head just in case, and we can always reuse it if need be. I gotta slide us out a little bit here. Let me go ahead and cut that other bait first. We can be a little bit more efficient with our time. Nope, oh. Hold on. That head, we just dropped it. We just dropped it down. We just dropped it down and it's already hit, man. We're going through some. I told you we had a dead stretch, and all of a sudden you get on some more fish, and now you got rods going down. Yeah, it's a smaller one there than the last one. I got a feeling he's still gonna be wound up. He's just sitting there looking at us right now. Yeah, I knew it. I knew you was still mad at me. You old fish. Tell you what. Let's set him there. He can think about what he's done while we cut this other bait. We'll switch it out while he tires himself out. We'll work efficiently as we can here. Well, we may have a reason to switch it out. We're going through some. Something hit that bait. Let's get rid of that. We may end up drifting back through this area here. Yeah, this bait here is it's all blanched out right here. This don't look very good. Send that one down. Yeah, we may have some doubles today, y'all, potentially. It just may happen. That one there, man, on the head, buddy, I mean, he ate fast. We just got that thing down. That's how I like it, man. Okay, fish, come over here. Get your moment of fame. Oh, Lord, he still ain't done. Here, let me set you all up here again. Get you out of the way where I can see something. What's another one? Don't want to open their mouth. Oh. I'm about to bring you in leader and all here, fish, because I'm tired of messing with you now. I don't know why they don't want to open their mouth. Come here now. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh man, I just got water all down the side of my leg. I feel it running all the way down. This fish is happy about it too. Yeah, the old camera's crooked. Here, get out of here, fish. Get on with yourself. He didn't want to be up here no way. I could feel him about to try to lunge at me there. Bait still, other than just ripping the, boy, he's run the, hold on, let me fix this. He's running the dang stinger. Oh, hold on. Oh. This rod over here got hit. The one we just sent down got hit, he didn't hook up. Y'all didn't get wet on the lens there, we're good. Let me fix this. This fish, he tore the mouth of this bait up. We'll run it through like that. Send it back down. Bait still got a lot of blood and oil and everything in it since just got hit that one time just after a couple minutes, but just have to rehook it. I think something's got this other bait over here now. He's swimming with it. See my line crooked? Watch this. Watch this. There he goes. There he goes. All right, man, we're going through them. We're on some fish right here. We haven't covered a lot of water, right? Well, I don't know how well you can see with the camera, the distance and whatnot, but we haven't covered a lot of water out here this morning. We're just drifting kind of slow, making our way around. Takes a little longer. It don't, but it does to tire these fish out, because normally if I'm fishing 60 feet deep, by the time I get a fish this size to the surface, he's tired out. But since we don't have that extra 40 feet to pull him up, it takes a little bit here just to let him splash around a bit. That's another one. That's a larger dink, smaller fun size. We'll just keep going here until we stop getting bit, and then we'll pedal up and we'll come through them again. I mean, I keep seeing some fish on the graph, so. Oh man, he's lassoed his mouth shut. Okay, there it comes. There it comes, fish. He still ain't ready. You need to be ready, whether you want to be or not, fish. I'm already ready to catch the next one. I've had my fun with you. It's time to send you packing. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, fish. You got that hook going through the bottom lip there. There he is, folks. He ain't coming in. That fish, he got gypped. He didn't get to come inside this kayak here. He's upset about it. He'll tell all his friends. They're all going to be in my comment box. They'll tell me how I've done their friend wrong and how bad my accent is. Boy, the people with the accents, man, I just don't get it. Like, I don't understand what motivation they even think I would have to try to fake my voice one way or the other. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I sound how I sound. And here is one thing that I was thinking about with that. You know, I'm from East Tennessee, born and raised. Grew up here. I assume I sound like a Tennessean. But I haven't been, I mean, I've lived here my whole life, but I've been all over. You know, before this whole YouTube crap took off, I was working as a travel nurse, and I had traveled for 10 years. So, I mean, I've been as far away as Washington State. So, like, when you travel, and here was an interesting statistic, and I can't remember the exact number. I'm a big Colin Cowherd fan. I've been watching his show for years. And one of the statistics I had heard him say one time, and I can't remember the exact numbers, like 40%, 60%, something like that. It was a larger percentage than what you would have ever thought, at least what I would have thought. But it was 40% or 60% of people never leave their zip code. I mean, I'm sure like that doesn't take into account maybe things like going on a vacation for a week or something. But as far as where they live, where they work, their community, where they spend their time, somewhere around half the population, I think it was, never leaves their zip code their entire life. So all them people you went to high school with, half of them never made it out. And of course, in that situation, like, if you live in the same place your whole life, everybody there is all going to sound the same. But when you travel, in my situation, I'd go somewhere, work a few months. Now, I come home oftentimes. Like, I typically would try to do a 6 on, 8 off schedule whenever possible. So I'd only be there a week at a time, basically. But when you're somewhere in a different environment, a different state, a different culture, like, everybody's got their own sound, their own words and things they say, sayings and whatnot. So when you're in that environment and you're exposed to it over and over and over again, of course you're going to pick up on some of those things. Of course you are. That's why we all sound however we sound, because it's how we grew up listening. As children, we grow up, we pick up those accents and saying all that stuff as we're in our young and impressionable years there, and that's why you sound how you sound when you grow up. But when you go somewhere else and you live, it's natural to pick up on some of those things. And so when you're, in my situation, I go somewhere, typically travel nurse contract be 13 weeks, but oftentimes I would extend. And so I might be somewhere 3 months, I might be somewhere 6 months. There were a couple jobs I had that I stayed right up to 364 days. Here we go. He just took it over and sat in there with it. Now he's taking off, man. Oh, buddy. He took it over and sat there with it. Now you don't want to fight at all. Oh, he's all lassoed. Boy, when he comes undone, he is going to, yep, that right there. It was like when I get him unlassoed, he's still lassoed around the neck. Oh, okay, there he goes. Okay, now he's ready to fight. Now he is. He got all wrapped up in that line first thing. Something about that constriction just makes them go calm. They're completely docile. And you take away that constriction, you get them unlassoed, and off they go. You know, this one here ain't very big, but I'm telling you, man, this is why this is fun in the shallower water, because a fish like this will bury that rod. And when you're in a kayak, and the way I've got my rod set here, like, they're going perpendicular off the kayak. Like, you get that, it pulls the side down a little bit when the rod goes over. You get that lever action. And it's fun, man. When you feel that kayak lean, like, it does something for me, y'all. Come here, fish. I'm gonna do something for you. I'm gonna get that hook out. Come on. Nope. Open it up. Fish this size, we need to teach them how to unhook themselves. That'd make our lives a lot easier, wouldn't it? Look at that. Mouth clamped shut. Beating your head against the wall. I mean, he will not open that mouth for anything for me to get thumb in there. There we go. Okay, we got that hook out. We got one hook out, there we go. He had that fly up under the gill there, he wanted to go. That's what you get, fish. I wasn't bringing you in no how. Well, folks, we'll just keep moving as long as we're getting bit, and when we stop, we'll come back up and hit them again. There's definitely fish here. Quality's not been there yet. I mean, we've had some fun sizers, but I mean, no monsters, but it is time of year here in the spawn where oftentimes I kind of shift my expectations from wanting to get big fish to just hoping to get numbers of fish and get lucky with a big one. And I typically do get lucky with some big fish throughout the spawn. Every year I seem to do it. Will today be the day? I don't know. But we're definitely getting some fish. We're getting some numbers anyway. So anyway, y'all, yeah, I mean, like, there's been some jobs I've had, like I've stayed up to the 364-day mark, which is the longest you can stay when you're working away from home and be able to keep your per diem benefits, be able to write off your lodging and meals and all that. Once you stay somewhere, once you've worked somewhere more than 364 days, they don't consider you to be working away from home anymore. So, but my point with all of it is, like, of course, when you go and you're working in a city somewhere, or you're working in a completely different state, yes, you're going to be around people that are speaking differently than you. Undoubtedly, you're going to pick some of that up. And, you know, it's just, but again, I don't understand this whole thing about accents and how I talk. Like, there's no reason for me to try to change my voice one way or the other for any way. Like, it will do absolutely nothing for my channel, one way or the other. So it makes no sense to do it. And two, who the hell cares how I sound unless my voice just is like nails on a chalkboard to you. And if that's the case, I get it. Like, there are some people and there are some accents that are like that with me. You get somebody, no offense to you Boston people, but you get somebody with like a thick Boston accent, it's nails on a chalkboard to me. Like, I can't listen to it. I'm not going to comment and get on their YouTube channel and gripe and complain about how they sound. I'm just not going to watch because their voice repulses me. But like, I just don't understand it, man. And I'm like, boy, if all you got to complain about with me is how I sound, you need to talk to some of these people that really hate my guts. I mean, they'll give you a lot more reasons to hate me than that. Hell, call the utility board tore up my yard, because when I'm done dealing with whoever I got to deal with, they'll give you plenty of reasons to hate me. But yeah, man, I've heard that whole accent thing a lot. And it's always around anytime I make a switch, where I've been doing something for a while, and then I switch cameras, I switch microphones, like, that's when it happens that I hear it. I'd used them Sony cameras for years, like whenever I started my channel there, 2016, whatever, up until, I think it was 2021. So the first 5 years of my channel, Lots of videos during that time. I mean, what, a few hundred videos probably during that time. Never had one person mention my accent, but as soon as I changed, that's when it started, when I switched cameras. So, yeah. Anyway, it's just people making me not like people even more than I already not like them. Like, why do I subject myself to that when I could be out here getting doo-doo all down my leg from a fish? Because the treatment out here by these fish is so much damn better. Lord Almighty. I'll tell you this though, man. Being out here is better than being at home today. Because I got to tell you that story too. Like, I got problems at my house, y'all. I can't remember. I know I was going to tell this story, but I can't recall if I ever did. So if you're a regular viewer and this story is a rerun, I apologize. But it's worth telling again, I think, because it was one of the damnedest craziest things I've ever seen. And so, back before our tournament down there on Nickajack, Catfish Sumo had a open house meetup thing for our tournament check-in. And the night before, and I'd went down there and hung out. But before I left to go down there, I had to put some more ant killer around my house because I was seeing all these ants on my carport and patio area. The big black ones. I don't know what kind of ant they are, but they're like the huge black ants. And so I was just stomping them as I was seeing them, but there was quite a few of them. And so I keep ant killer out there in my shed because I have problems with ants every year. Usually it's the fire ants that are a problem in my area, but regardless, I have problems with them. And so I put some of that stuff out before I left. I go down to the Catfish Sumo event, and I get back home that night, and I'm getting home 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I get out my car, and immediately I notice all of the ants. They are everywhere, all over the carport area, the little sidewalk patio, and they're crawling up my foundation of my house. I mean, hold on a second here, y'all. Pause the story a second. I want to do something. We've went a minute here and ain't got bit. I want to just reel up here a second. Just pedal up a couple hundred yards, and let's drop baits down again and come right back through them fish. Y'all bear with me a second here while we do this. Clearly these fish ain't following us down river or we'd still be getting bit. So if they're sitting still, we want to come through them again. If they're working their way upriver, hopefully we will get back in front of them and then come through them again. But I mean, we were getting some action right there on that little stretch, so I want to hit it again, man. Just because we didn't necessarily get any big fish through there, I mean, don't mean that we won't. And we're getting them fun-sized fish. I mean, I'm going to enjoy them. The tackle I use in this setup, I mean, I can have some fun on 10, 15-pound fish, man. You see it, they take the rod over hard, especially on this short line. So yeah, we're just going to run up here just a little. I mean, we really haven't covered much water at all so far. I know you can't see where that creek or cove, whatever it is, opening, but it's like right there. But it probably don't show up well on camera. So we've really not went far. But yeah, we'll get right back up here. Try to come through those fish again if they're still here. And if we get bit, hey, we'll do it again. If not, we'll just continue on the move and keep making our way downriver. We're just exploring today. I'll tell you this though, I'm happy with how many fish there's been here. Like, it gives me confidence to know, like, if there's this many fish here, there's going to be some big ones at some point. So at some point in time, probably this fall, when I start doing a little more anchor fishing, we'll come back here and hit this opening. That'd be a good springtime spot and be a good fall time spot. I can't remember exactly where it was at. We started getting bit right through here. I'm not really seeing much on the graph right now, but unless we're just right over the top, that graph there is just a basic 2D graph. So you've got a small cone basically that comes off that transducer. And as it goes down, the cone expands. But at 20 feet deep here, you're not getting a very big radius down there where it's hitting on bottom. Let's just go right here to this, wherever that little nook and cranny right there is. We'll get up here aligned with it and start our drift again. Okay. We'll let the kayak come to a stop here before we drop our baits down. The wind is starting to blow a little bit right now too, and it's kind of blowing upriver. If it continues to pick up and we get slowed down or stopped or get to a point where we just get blown upriver, we may have to turn with the current and just pedal, just kind of troll our way with the current to work against the wind. We'll see. We'll see here when we get settled. There we go. All right, there goes the head bait. There goes this a chunk. That's more of the tail piece of that chunk right there. We may end up switching that out if we don't get bit down through here soon. I like the first half of that bait, you know. Where was I at with the ants? Okay, so anyway, I'm all over the place with these stories. So I get back that night from Catfish Sumo, and there's ants everywhere, man. They're patio, they're going up the foundation of my house there. Like, I mean, it's them big black ants. And I'm like, man, I've just put ant killer down right before I left. Not even phasing them. So I get out there, and again, this is 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. I get out there with the flashlight, and I'm trying to find out where these ants are coming from. So I follow them from the corner of my house right there. They're coming up the foundation, the patio carport area. Like, I follow the marching ants all the way. They go down the edge of my driveway, like between the gravel and the grass. Like, they go all the way down through here. They cut across my yard, and they're coming out of this tree in the middle of my yard. And I shine the flashlight on this tree, and there are thousands of these ants all over this tree. And for some reason, they are coming out of this tree, marching that single line across my yard, up my driveway, to my patio, and up the foundation of my house. And I'm like, holy cow, I'm about to be overrun with these ants. This is like my childhood fear right here, because I got problems with ants, y'all. Like, them big black ants, they kind of creep me out. And I think it stems from when I was a kid. and some of y'all may remember this. In Tennessee, we didn't have a lot of TV channels, but when I would stay with my great-grandma, she had Fox 43. I can't remember if she had antenna or cable, to be honest. I was real young, but we had Fox 43. And on Saturdays, you'd have cartoons in the mornings, and then they would put on some terrible movie in the afternoons. And I remember this movie. I don't remember the name of it, but I remember the movie as a small child, where these ants, these big black ants, grew, they got enlarged. And they were just these giant menacing ants. And it freaked me out, okay? I was a small child. That movie was probably rated R, and I was 4 years old, okay? So and it's stuck with me ever since. So I really, really, really don't like ants now. Never have. Especially the big black ants. And so out there that night, man, I've got all these ants all over. So I'm stomping them all I can there on the carport, but there's just thousands of them. So I get the ant killer back out. And I got that bag of stuff, I forget the name of it, but granules. I'm throwing it all over there on the side of my house, all over the patio area. I cover the whole line, their little marching line, all the way from that tree, and I just, all around the base of that tree, like I'm just, as our head gets hit here. He wants it. He wants it. Get it. Get it one time. There you go. There you go. I don't think he's going to be very big, but he got it. All right, we come back up here and we own them again. Yeah, that's a small one right here. Better not throw that head off, fish. We may replace it, but I want to keep it. We probably will replace it, actually. Put a fresh one on. This one tore up after that last fish we got on it. Come here, you fish. You're one of the smallest ones of the day. Why don't you eat you something here? Boy, his mouth is rough. His mouth, he's got them little... I'm gonna take the camera here. I don't know how well it's gonna show up. But I'm gonna take the camera here. I want you to look at his mouth right there. You see them little, almost like little, I say it's like sandpaper. Them are like little tiny spikes, upper and lower. Oh, he's trying to puncture some fish down there, man. That nair, he's been exposed to radiation or something. He's growing him some teeth. Yeah, let's cut another skippy here. Put a fresh head on. We'll save that other one though, just in case. The pace we're going here, we may very well end up having to reuse it. Take my pliers and trim the fins. Is that necessary? Maybe, maybe not, but they don't serve no purpose there. I feel like if it costs me one fish throughout the year, it's one too many. When I can take that extra second and just trim them off. Yeah, I mean, well, it's pretty blanched out. It's looking like it needs to be changed anyway. Okay, next head, going down. We'll reel up that other chunk there that was kind of part of more of the tail meat on that other one there. You catch fish on it, but I got a lot more confidence in that section of the bait right behind the head. It's just, historically speaking, a lot more fish and a lot more bigger fish have been caught for me on that section of bait right behind the head versus more toward the tail. We will keep this though, just in case. All right, next bait. Skipjack chunk. Down it goes, 22 feet. So we'll have it 18, 19, 20 feet deep, somewhere thereabouts. Ain't an exact science, folks. You just want to be close to the bottom without being on the bottom. Clean our board, and I'm gonna get back telling you the ant story. I'll eventually get this story out. So yeah, anyway, I'm out there, 10 o'clock at night, trying to kill all these ants. And I go to the tournament the next day, which was a disaster. Y'all have probably done seen that video by now. Everything went wrong. I fell down the ramp into the water. I mean, it was just one of them days. Lost my bait overboard. I had this live crappie I was so proud of, and I fished with him. I didn't catch anything, so I'd reeled him up when I was running from the storm, and I put him back in my bait bucket, and of course he went overboard when my bait bucket went over. But anyway, everything was going wrong, which I blame. I'm gonna give you a conspiracy theory on these ants after this, and why I think they contributed to all of my problems there on tournament day. But I get home from tournament day, and there's a few straggler ants, but most of them are gone. Like, they're not around my house, they're not on the tree, they're not anywhere in between. Like, I can't find these ants. And I'm thinking, well, great, you know, maybe they've just realized they've picked the wrong place to invade and moved along, went somewhere else. So, life has been good, just been moving along, normal routine. And then yesterday afternoon, I'm sitting on the couch and I see an ant crawling on the wall. And I go over there and I kill it. And I turn around and here comes another one on the floor. And I kill it. And I thought, that's concerning, because again, it's the big black ants. And so I go outside, I look around my house. There's a couple straggler ants on the carport there, not seeing the big swarm of them like I had seen previously. I thought, whatever. So go inside, don't see any more. I'm looking around, I don't see any more, just them two. Well, last night I'm working out. I'm in the floor doing some stretches and glance up, here comes a couple more ants. You gotta be kidding me. And so I finally figured out, I kept seeing them periodically through the evening. And I think they're coming out from my bedroom, the baseboards, from under the baseboards in my bedroom, which is on the opposite end of the house from where they were invading initially. But throughout the night, they kept coming out. And so this morning I get up and I'm planned on coming out here, being out here on the water at sunrise. Well, there was something splashing right over there. And I get up and let Daphne out and come back in my bedroom, and here comes 4 ants out from under that baseboard. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I was like, before I go fishing today, I'm gonna run to Walmart and get me some ant traps, ant killer, whatever they got, I'm gonna get it to put inside the house. Because, I can't sit there, if I'm out here fishing, I can't be sitting right there in my bedroom waiting to swat them every time they come out from under the baseboard, right? So I'm looking up which ones have the best reviews, and I'm on the Google there, and I realize, well, you know what? It says, it's got all the stuff there and whatnot, and I clicked on one of them to see if it was available at Walmart, and I realized Walmart is closed. Walmart is not 24 hours a day now. I don't know when that changed. Used to be 24 hours a day, but now they don't open till 6 o'clock. So I had to wait till 6 o'clock. Meanwhile, I killed a few more ants while I waited wait till 6 o'clock, go to Walmart, get the ant stuff, come back, kill some more ants, put the ant stuff out, and then come down here. So that's why I'm late getting out here today, because by the time I waited on Walmart to open and go in there and find, and they've changed the store around at my local Walmart. You can't find stuff where you used to find stuff, so I had to go looking for it and get back home and figure out the directions and all that. And I put some of them indoor. It's apparently some kind of food that they eat. And so the concerning thing with that is that it's probably going to draw more of them in by having that food out for them. But supposedly they eat that food, they take it back to their nest and feed it to all of them, and it kills them all, supposedly. But what I'm probably going to have to end up doing is calling some pest control thing, because I'm ready to burn my house down at this point, because I don't like ants. If I get infested with them big black ants, like, I'll just leave. I'll call the pest control people. They can spray any chemicals they want to spray in there, and I'll just leave until all them damn ants are dead, because I can't. I'm sitting there last night in my bed, and I'm like, I'm gonna wake up and there's gonna be ants crawling on my face. Like, they're gonna be in my mouth. It's like a horror movie scene. And it all stems from being a small child, Fox 43, Saturday afternoon movie with them giant ants. It was way too scary for a small child of my age to be watching, and it scarred me for life. I've never been the same toward ants. The fire ants don't bother me so bad. They piss me off because I'll be out in my yard in flip-flops or barefooted, and you'll step on an area, and next thing you know, there'll be 100 of them on your feet, and they all start biting at once. So they piss me off, but they don't really freak me out. The big black ones, to my knowledge, they don't bite at all. At least I don't think I've ever been bit by one. But they creep me out. And so I kill them all. Anytime I see them, if I'm just walking down a random sidewalk and I see an ant, I stomp it. But I think I had all that bad Judy on me at the nickerjack tournament. Falling in the water, losing my bait, had a hard time fishing because all the grass moving downriver. Like, but in the storms, like, getting drink, it was a tough day. Like, just things kept going wrong. And when you have a day like that, you're like, okay, probably some karma, probably some Judy on me. I thought somebody might have put a hex on me, because after that I found a dead bird with maggots all over it in this kayak. But, you know, I got to thinking about it, and I was like, the night before that tournament, when I had all that bad Judy, I had killed all them ants. And ants are they're pretty civilized. Like, they have their colony. Everybody has their place in their society. They have their queen. They have the little worker ants. Everybody has a job. Everybody has a role. It's almost ant society. They're almost like socialist, really, because everybody does their job, and nobody's getting paid more. There's one queen, but otherwise nobody's really getting paid more than anybody else. Nobody's lacking motivation to go to work because, you know, they're like, when I envision socialism, I think of an ant colony. And what about this? Here, we're going to go put your tinfoil hat on. Let's go down the rabbit hole, potential universal conspiracy theories. As human beings, we're all a bit narcissist in that we think that we are the superior beings on planet Earth. Like, we think we are the smartest creatures on the planet, possibly in the universe, depending on whether or not you believe in aliens. I personally think they're probably, I hope we're not the smartest advanced civilization out there, but regardless, most people, even if you don't believe in aliens, you probably think that human beings are the most sophisticated, advanced, intelligent creatures on the planet. What if we're completely wrong about that? Like, what if we're really not? Like, what if ants are the chosen ones? What if they have figured out the perfect society? What if the universe, what if whatever God you believe in has the ants as the chosen people? And when we go out there, like I did that night, and we kill a bunch of them ants, the universe, whatever, frowns upon that kind of thing, and we get punished for it. I killed all them ants, and I had a terrible day the next day. I killed some ants last night, and here I am. I'm catching some fish today out here, but I was delayed an hour and a half getting out here, and my butt's wet because I got monsooned on the drive down here today. So things aren't going perfectly smoothly out here. I'm just saying, folks, none of us really know what these other animals and creatures. We look at their brains and we're like, well, they've got a small brain. They couldn't possibly be as advanced as us. We don't know that. We don't know what they're able to think, what they're able to feel, what they're able to sense. You take dogs, for instance. Dogs obviously have the ability to learn. They can learn commands and tricks and stuff. But they also have an ability to sense things coming. Like a lot of service dogs, for instance, can sense when the owner or the person they're taking care of, they can sense when they're about to have a seizure, for instance. And so the dog will act out and get them to sit down so that they don't fall and hurt themselves when they seize. So dogs, just as an example, are kind of on a different wavelength than us humans as far as how they're able to feel and perceive the world. And we're drifting, y'all got me on this ant story. We're drifting way off this ledge with the wind kind of pushing us here. We got to get back over here where we can get bit. But my point, I guess, is that like we don't really know when it comes to animals, insects, birds, plants even, like we don't know what they know, what they feel, what they sense. We assume that we are the superior beings because we have the ability to kill ants, we have the ability to train and civilize animals like dogs and cats and stuff, but I'm not sure that we're the superior being, folks. I mean, when you look at how well, just ant civilizations, like these ant colonies, they all work together in you don't see, when I'm seeing these black ants in my house, carport, patio and stuff, they're not on social media fighting amongst themselves because one of them got a pro staff deal and the other didn't. Or one of them caught a big fish and the other one didn't. They're not fighting amongst themselves. They are all working together to better the colony. They're all pulling for the same cause. Is it possible that like other animal species have got, if they're the chosen ones, like if they're the more advanced civilization and we're not? I don't know. I don't like people who suggest socialism. I think it's a stupid concept. But boy, it sure seems to work well for them ants because, they all work in perfect harmony. And right now, unfortunately, they're working against me because they seem to be wanting to take over my house. I'm going to keep killing them regardless of what kind of bad Judy or karma comes my way, because I can't not do it. I will never. We got a fish right here working this. Working that chunk. He hit it. Just based on my childhood trauma of watching that movie, I'll never be able to change my opinion of ants. But I'm just, I don't know what to think about them, man. I just don't know. Sometimes I look at, especially like when I go through my comment box and I deal with idiots who are literally wasting time in their lives. They could be doing something fun. They could be doing something enjoyable, but instead they're writing paragraphs in my comment box complaining about my voice. Am I really supposed to believe that human beings are the most advanced species on Earth? Really? Like, that's us? That? Meanwhile, I got these ants working in perfect harmony, taking over my house. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know where I'm going with this whole tinfoil hat conspiracy theory with the ants. I'm certainly not trying to, this fish, he knows where he's going. He knows where he's going. He's going up here and getting reeled in. I bet that's probably the same one that hit it a second ago. He ain't gonna be very big. We're gonna keep moving this time. We've drifted through this area again. We didn't get on them the same way we did the first pass. They either moved or said hell with us. I ain't seen as many on the screen coming down through here, but the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. Oh, Lord. But the wind is kind of just pushing us off this ledge a little bit. I got to get us back over here, more position where we need to be. We want to be on that break line. This fish has got the hook going through the bottom lip. It's a terrible place for this hook. We may try to quick release this one here. It's going through the bottom lip right there. It's hard to grab him when it's like that. Oh, quit, fish. You're acting something terrible. Embarrassing your whole family here. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna have to bring him in after he gets us all sopping wet. I was just starting to dry out after that last fish. Got water all down my leg a few minutes ago, fish. You're an ornery old thing. All these fish today have had a bad attitude, ain't they? You'd think they'd be happy to see me coming down here, making them famous. Get out of here before you doo-doo in here too. Never fished here before. This is their first opportunity to get on a YouTube video, and this is how they act. They don't know how to act. He's got the bait. He either eat it or threw it off. Did he get you all wet when he got me wet? He got a little bit on there, didn't he? I don't know if that one's affecting your view or not, but we'll clean you off there nonetheless. Let's see what we got going on here. It's a smaller skipjack here. Some of these skipjack that I got yesterday were definitely on the smaller side. They're spawned out. Still kind of been struggling to catch skips lately. It's been an odd year as far as places that I've historically gotten them. They've just not been there yet. Or they got there early and I missed them. I don't know. But either way, I've been off the skipjack recently. Had a harder time getting them. But thankfully, got enough there yesterday for us to be able to come out here today. But yeah, the ants, y'all, man, like, I'm not trying to suggest I know I'm talking about ants living in like a socialist society, because they kind of do. But I don't want to make it sound like I'm suggesting that that's a good thing or that we should be living that way. I sure as hell wouldn't. But it sure works well for them ants, man. If you get everybody working toward a common goal, anything is possible. Now, human beings have well, outside of certain times in human history, humans just will not work together. You'll have packs of people, militaries, armies, countries, working together. But human beings universally will never be on board with a common goal, unless the day comes where we all have to battle against aliens. That's what it would take to get everybody on the planet, human beings, to come together. You would have to have a common enemy that we were all fighting against, and it would have to be something aliens. Otherwise, I mean, if it's just two countries fighting against each other, everybody's going to pick sides. Like, we just can't get along. And don't get me wrong, there's been times in human history. I think the last time the United States, where everybody was kind of aligned, where everybody was unified, was probably 9/11. And even that didn't last very long. Like everybody, that period there right after 9/11, for the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like everybody in America we were all concerned for each other, for your safety, everybody was fearful. We were all unified at that point in time. But then a little time passes, and it didn't take long, and we were all kind of back to fighting and bickering amongst ourselves, and that's continued to get worse over time. But really, it's been like that throughout human history. I mean, there's very few times, just speaking from America alone, 9/11 obviously unified us for a brief period of time. I would say probably World War II, obviously I wasn't around back then, that was way before my time, but at least just reading about it, hearing about it, everybody, you had the military obviously fighting the war, then you had people here at home, the factories, the companies, everything shifted toward, this is back when we actually built stuff in America, but the entire country was working towards supplying the troops. And it was just, just from what I read, it seemed like people were mostly unified during that time. Beyond that, I really can't think of a lot of situations where we were all working together toward a common cause. And I really believe, like, for all of humanity to come together, regardless of your race or your sex or your nationality, for every single person on planet Earth to come together over a common cause, it would have to be us. Fish hit. He's still after it. He wants it. Well, get it if you want it. I think he's going to get it. Nope, he dropped it. But it would have to be us fighting for survival. We would have to have a common enemy. And the only common enemy we're going to have as a human species would have to be something that has the ability to take us all out. So it would have to be something like aliens, or if you're the type that believes in the Terminator, and we certainly seem to be going down the path of AI taking over the world, maybe at some point this fish is actually going to get that bait. But there could be a situation at some point where AI gets to the point where, like, we don't need humans anymore, and they start killing us off, and then we have to band together to take out the technology, like the Terminator. I don't know. But otherwise, I don't see it happening, because we're all upset with each other because somebody got a pro staff deal and this person didn't, and this person got some free rods and this person felt like they deserved it more. It's just silly stuff that people fight about and spend their lives complaining about, instead of things that might actually help society and help us all do better and live better. They don't have that problem in the ant world, though. They don't have no Facebook. This fish is going to have it. Okay, he's got it now. Okay. He took him a little line there, didn't he? He took him a little line when he finally got it. He still wants to take a little line, don't he? He's giving it everything he's got, man. It don't take a big fish on a short line. And this one ain't going to be big. If we hook a big one down through here, I'm telling you, it's going to be a battle. This one here, he's big enough to strip a little line. Yeah, this one here's another one that's, you can call him whatever you want to. Call him anything but Sally. Larger dink, smaller fun size. He's got some length to him, but it's another one's kind of skinny. I feel like this another one is probably going to thrash around a little more. I don't feel like it's completely tired out. I want it to be tired out before I try to get hold of it. There goes the boat. We ain't seen much boats today. I don't know if it's the weather keeping them off or just where I'm at. It's kind of nice having a place to myself. May have to hit this section of the river again, especially if we get on some big fish. At some point in time on this section of the river, there's going to be some big fish. I don't know if it's going to be today. I think a lot of these fish are on the nest, but I don't know. It's been productive numbers-wise. Yeah, this one here. Here, I'll tell you what, y'all set up here. Set up there in the front seat while I land this fish, would you? Little glove on. Come here, fish. Come here. Yep. He ain't done. He still ain't done. I wish he had, this is another one here. I wish we'd just get himself unhooked. There we go. Well, I thought I had him. There. Hold yourself up there to camera. See, it's a larger dink, smaller fun size. He's gone is what he is. We done got him out of here quick. He got the bait too. Whole fish, man. Whole fish got him a bait. You run low on bait, you come out in the day, you ain't got much bait. Every one of them's gonna throw it off. It never fails how that works out like that. But like I mentioned earlier, when you only run in 2 rods, you don't go through as much bait. And the other thing too is just when you get on a good bite, or you're fishing where you need to be, 2 rods is plenty enough to keep you busy. Like you can, I mean, hell, some of my most productive days ever have been days where I'm only running 2 rods. And I know my buddy Ryan, he goes on all the time about more baits, more fish. And the logic's not wrong, but my counter to that has been, I've said it numerous times, if I can't catch them with 2 rods, I ain't gonna catch them with 6 or 8. And so it just comes down to your personal preference. How many rods you want to fish with? All that, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. It don't affect me. How you fish don't affect me one nary bit. It ain't going to stop me from coming out and doing what I like doing. If you want to fish with 2 rods, by all means. If you want to hop in a boat and pull planer boards, what do I care? It don't affect me one iota. Put that back down in there. We'll have them fins trimmed off of it, ready to go for the next one, won't we? We'll be ahead of the game when we switch out to head bait. Take that cutting board off there. All right, back on the move. I say back on the move, we never stop moving. Yeah, we're still going into the wind. The wind's blowing upstream right now, very light. But it don't take a lot of wind to move a kayak like this, so we'll keep an eye on it. If it picks up, it gets to the point where it's slowing us down, or if it's, I don't mind it necessarily slowing us down a smidge. That'll just actually help our scent get in front of us. But if it stops us or gets us blowing upriver, then we'll turn and we'll troll into the wind. But we're just continuing the contour over here. Obviously, it's, if you can see on the screen, there's the shoreline over here. You've got a real shallow flat, and then it comes off. And so you can see how far away we are from the shoreline over here now. There's a little slough that goes up here behind us too, actually, it looks like. So that right there, I believe, is another island we're coming up on. But we're still just working that same line that we've been working all the way down through here, which is the edge of the river channel. And the depth has been consistent pretty much the whole way, 20, 21, 22 feet. We're just gonna hug this line down through here. And any fish that's, when they travel, man, I'm telling you, they oftentimes will work along the edges up through here. They'll work the break line. Sometimes they'll be on the bottom, sometimes they'll be on a break line in the middle. You can have multiple break lines along the ledge depending on how it lays out. Sometimes they'll be on top, it just depends. But for me, just as a statistical, I'm kind of an analytical thinker. Statistically speaking, that bottom edge is very productive. Like that's just a really productive place to spend your time. So that's what I typically focus on. There are times I will hit the top one, but the break lines working up a ledge, I usually honestly rarely focus on those. Most of the time I want to put my baits in the high percentage areas. And it's been high percentage today, buddy. We had that one stretch there. We got them 2 fish. We had a pretty long stretch before we got the next one. And I don't think we've had that long of a break since. So, I mean, action-wise, it has been, we got another little tap. Action-wise, it's been pretty good today. We're just lacking the quality right now. I think with it being cloudy, it's going to help our calls as far as us drifting over the top of big fish with not spooking them, because we're not really putting off a big shadow today with the sun not being out. So I think that's going to help our calls. And I'm just sitting here, man. I'm not making any noise in this kayak unless I shift my weight in the seat. So I mean, we're pretty quiet as we drift along down through here, and you can kind of see here on the screen, like that's fish right there. Don't know what they are, but I mean, like that's some fish. There's one that come up. So we're in a productive area. These river bends. When I'm summer months, obviously I'm gonna do a lot of ledge fishing, but when I'm going somewhere new, one of the things I look at is kind of the macro view. I want to kind of zoom out and see, like, aside from just the contour lines, like how does the river flow? And anytime I see a bend like this, I'm like, there's going to be fish somewhere on that bend. If I work that ledge long enough, I'm not going to get skunked. Like, I'm going to run into some fish on that ledge. And we got on some here today so far. Thankfully, too, we still ain't got wet. It still looks like it could rain at any time. But the only rain I hit was just the drive down here. I don't really want to get wet today. It's nice being cloudy. That's nice because it's not too miserable hot. You get these humid days in the summer, it can get miserable hot pretty quick early on in the morning, but today it's been comfortable. So far, at least. If that sun pops out in them clouds at all, it'll make it a steam bath real quick. But you know, we're gonna fish another hour or two down through here probably, and I guess I'll have to go home and see what these ant traps or ant things look like. And I fear I've drawed them in, man. The ants are gonna come in. It's one of them things, like, I understand the concept. They come in, they eat the poison food, they take it back to their colony, they kill their queen and friends. I get the concept. But it seems like a situation where things are going to get far worse before they get better, because when they go back to take the food, they're going to tell their buddies, like, hey, I found it. And they're not going to be like humans where they're going to want all the credit for finding it. Like, they're just going to say, hey, go get as much as you can, bring it back. And so I feel like it's going to be bringing more ants into the house in the short term until they start dying off. So I'm worried about what I'm going to go home to. Poor Daphne may be covered in ants when I get there. If I wake up, though, man, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I got ants on me, you talk about freaking out. There's something about childhood trauma. You never, and this is, well, I say childhood trauma, certainly not as what I'm saying with me watching this movie as a kid. It's stuck with me, obviously, but I don't mean trauma like child abuse or something like that. There's kids that obviously go through far worse things. But regardless, when something happens as a kid, it tends to stick with you. Like, you know, I talked about a month or two ago there, car wreck I had when I was 25, messed me up real bad, really changed my life. Obviously changed my life for the worse at that point in time, but since then, the changes I've made because of that, it's changed my life for the better. But the wreck itself, me having that wreck, it doesn't affect me getting into a car. Like, I drove down here this morning, we're done fishing, I'm gonna drive home. Like, it don't. And I've had some close calls. Hell, a few days ago, I had a car, like, they must have been on their cell phone or something. They were like in my lane coming at me head on before they swerved back over. But yet, I still drive. Like, I don't even think about, most of the time I get in my car, I don't even think about that wreck I had. But yet every time I see an ant, I think back to that movie as a kid. And I think it's because it happened when I was a child. There's something about things that happens when you're a kid just sticks with you. This fish is going to stick with that hook too. Look at this. Oh, he let it go. Let that one go. I was trying to back us up a little bit, get us back on this ledge. The way the wind's blowing, it's blowing upstream and kind of at an angle, and it keeps pushing us off this ledge. So I'm having to just kind of keep an eye on things. I just want to kind of hug this. Want to hug that line. You don't have to be like on it, but you need to be close to it. You need to be within a few feet of it. We got a boat coming up here too. He's bass fishing. He's working this island over here. Y'all know I don't like talking on camera around people. We've literally seen now two boats and a barge out here today. And here we go. We're going to cross paths with one of the boats. Never fails, man. This section of the river, though, I mean, it's kind of nice. There's a couple houses over here behind me now, but I mean, it's not overpopulated. Some of the places I fish, it's just $1 million house after $1 million house, and wakeboarders and jet skiers and just non-stop boats and whatnot. And this area through here seems to be pretty unpopulated. It's kind of nice. I'm wishing now I hadn't waited so long to come mark this place off the to-do list. I think though, man, that I don't know what it is, creek mouth or just an opening up there, but it was probably a creek back in the day, because it seems to have, on the map, it seemed to have a defined path going up in there. I'm telling you, buddy, the places like that, anytime you've got a defined path from deep water to shallow water, you soak baits on there, put time in, you will get bit. We will hit that spot at some point in the future. If we can. Oftentimes I film these videos and places get burned a little bit. Other YouTubers show up immediately, and of course random people too, but out here where I'm at today, I don't know that there's really any landmarks for them to figure out where I'm at. Some people don't need landmarks. You can post a picture of a blade of grass on the ground and they'll know exactly where it's at, but there's really nothing major around down through here. So if a person ain't fished here before, it ain't gonna be some noticeable landmark they can look up and get an address. Locals may recognize it, but here's something else I don't get to. And this goes back to stupid people in the comment box. There's a fish come right up there beside us, just taunting us. I get these comments sometimes. I'll fish somewhere, and usually I will say the body of water that I'm at, right? Like when I'm going through my spiel during the day, I'll tell you exactly where I'm at. I'll show you my map card, like everything. Now I'm going to be cutting back on that. I'm not going to stop showing you my graph or my map card. And I'm not going to hide my backgrounds like some of these people do. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to try to in the future, just because I've got so many people showing up to these spots and whatnot. Like today I'm on the Tennessee River. I'm going to leave it at that. There's a lot of reservoirs of the Tennessee River, but I'm not going to, if they're going to follow me, they're going to have to do some detective work. But what gets me, though, in the comment box, these people, first off, they complain when YouTubers show up to fish their area because it's burning the spots. But then they tell the spots in the comment box. Like, I can't tell you how many comments I've got, and they're like, oh, I recognize that. That's such and such ramp, or they'll see some building in the background, and they're like, well, that's such and such monument, or whatever, you know. And so they're pissed off. Some of them, anyway, are pissed off that we're down there, but yet they're announcing the spot where they're at. So now anybody, obviously if somebody's local to the area, they may not have recognized it in the video, but they may have heard it just because they're kind of local to the area, and so they'll know to go there. But when you get people that are out of town, and maybe they're looking to vacation somewhere, and they see me catch this fish right here. Oh, nice takedown, nice takedown. He's gonna take some line. And he come off. Did he get our bait? Did we get robbed? We didn't get robbed. He tried. We're gonna rehook this thing. He about got us, didn't he? I don't know why he come undone. He had a nice takedown, like he clearly had it. That's a smaller bait. I don't think it's a situation where he would have been clamped on it and didn't get to hook. Like it's weird. Either way, we missed one. We was due to miss one, I guess. We've had pretty good success today with keeping the fish that we've had hooked up. But these people, man, they get in the comment box and they will announce exactly where I'm at, like boat ramp, place on the river, and like, I'm like, man, I know how many people show up the places where I catch big fish at anyway. Like, you're begging for it, man. When you announce it publicly to where people who are planning vacations and stuff, like, some of them get mad at me and other YouTubers for burning their spots. They need to take a little responsibility for them damn selves when you go announce it in the comment box. I mean, listen, I ain't saying like tons of people travel places because they see me catch a big fish there, but when I get several million views per year, if a fraction of a percent do plan a vacation to go somewhere that they've seen me catching fish, well, that's a significant number of people on a spot. So think it through. The next time maybe you're local to somewhere I'm fishing and you recognize the boat ramp or the spot, think it through before you go announcing it in the comment box. You may just be punishing yourself, but because by the time my video comes out, like, I'm keeping my videos a little bit further behind now. One, because I'm caught up and I'm actually ahead on videos, but two, because again, I've just got these other YouTubers that they see me catch fish somewhere, here they come. So I want to make sure I'm done with an area before they show up. So when you comment and you burn that spot, like, I'm already gone. Like, I'm already done with it by the time that video comes out. So you're hurting yourself. You ain't hurting me, you're hurting yourself. It's something though, man. I've been over that before. Like, I feel kind of like a failure in a sense, because I always, no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, I always try to show you my map card. I show you how I'm setting up. I try to explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And the hopes being that you will, I say you, not necessarily you in particular, but I mean just you as the audience in general, people watching the videos, I hope that people will take that information and apply it to where they're fishing at. Not just take it as, well, Justin caught a fish right here on this point, I got to go fish there. That's what I don't want. And I try to, you know, especially like a day like today where I'm out here in my basic setup kayak with pedals, 2 rod holders, 2 rods. I'm like, you know, if I can do this in this setup, these people that's got boats, man, you can apply this and apply it a lot more effectively and catch even more fish. You know, I hope to teach and encourage in these videos, as well as hopefully make some of you feel better about your own lives when you hear me being infested with ants. The situations I get myself into sometimes. But anyway, that's how it is. But I am in the future here, going forward, going to have to be a little bit more, not secretive. I'm not going to be secretive and try to hide stuff from you. But I'm also going to have to not be just so blatant, if you will, about giving these other, basically giving out GPS coordinates, essentially, is what I'm oftentimes doing. It's just, it negatively impacts. I mean, it's been like that. Like if I post a picture, this has happened a few times, and I've stopped posting pictures on Facebook and Instagram unless a video's come out. But like if I have a picture of a fish and there's something in the background where somebody can figure out where I'm at, I'll be damned if they ain't YouTubers that'll go out there the next day and film a video and then immediately post it so that when my video comes out after, it makes it look like I've followed them around. And it's just, it's so stupid and just petty and ridiculous. I'm like, man, there's a ton of fish. Like, catfishing ain't that hard, folks. It really ain't that hard. Get you some cut bait, some live baits. Put those baits then where the fish are or where they're going to swim through. You're going to catch them. I mean, it ain't. We're not solving world hunger or launching rockets into space, going to Mars here or anything. It ain't complicated. It ain't hard. You may not catch fish every day doing it. You may not catch big fish every day, but the concept is pretty simple. Like it's not very difficult to do. No reason to be following other people around or all that. But it just is what it is, man. It's the way it's going to be. But as my channel continues to grow and get bigger and bigger, I'm just causing more problems for myself when I basically give out these GPS coordinates. Is when I, you know, even though I may be done with the spot by the time the video comes out, I'm still going to want to go back there in the future at some point. You know, maybe the following year, same time frame. Usually it's rare to get on a bite that's just going to be a once in a lifetime bite. It's usually going to happen again. When the conditions, the timing, and all that's right, like that's going to be, you find a section of the river that's producing at a certain time of year, you go back there year after year after year, you're probably going to get bit there again. Like you're going to be able to repeat that. But unfortunately, in my situation, I get on to something this year. If I want to go back there in subsequent years, it's been hit hard. That's the price of doing the YouTube game. It's just part of it you accept when you start doing it. I don't know what this guy in this boat's doing behind us over here. I hope he's getting ready to leave. No, I think he's just picking him up another rod. It's one of them bass fishermen. He's probably got 47 different rods with 30 of the same bait tied on, just different color and a different size. Because there's that one hell of a difference between a... Oh. Well, I think he's got it. He's got it. We're hooked up again. We got another one. I get that rod out. There we go. We just keep making our way down through here, y'all. We just keep getting big. Let's show this bass fisherman a fish over here. I guarantee you, however big this cat is, he ain't caught a bass this big. Oh, this is a little better one here. This is a little better one, folks. This is a solid fun sizer right here. He does not want to fight though right now, does he? Now I got a feeling this fish is going to show out when we get it. He's barely fought. Surely he can't be done. Surely not. He still ain't hardly wanting to fight. I mean, for his size, that's a pretty good fish. He ain't wanting to fight. I was just waiting any time for him to take off, but he never has. He must have partied all night. Hell, them damn ants have kept him up down there too. I bet you his Walmart's open 24 hours a day though. I don't know why the hell my Walmart ain't. Used to be. I remember I used to work a mid shift. Sometimes I get off at 1, sometimes 3, and get home. You go by Walmart afterwards. You can't do that anymore. Can you, fish? Oh, now he wants to show out. Now he wants to. Let's get y'all out the way. If y'all ain't gonna land this fish for me, at least get out my way a minute. Come on, fish, open it. Open it. Come here, fish. Oh, Lord. I knew he was gonna be full of energy. I knew he was. He ain't fought. Goodness. No calls in this fish. If you'd open up, I'd already have hold of you. He's too big to just lift him in by the leader. Oh, got water running down my face. I hear you, fish. I hear you. Goodness Christ, I may have to bring him in by the leader if he don't open up. Oh, he will not open his mouth for nothing. I'm bringing him in by the leader. Didn't want to, had to. God, he still won't open. There we go. At least got my thumb wedged in there. Golly, bum, he don't want to open it. There we go. We may switch that head bait out in a minute. Yeah, that's a little porker right there. That's one of the bigger ones of the morning, just weight-wise anyway. Got a belly on him. You got plenty to say, don't you, fish? Another one of them ventriloquists won't open its mouth but can still talk to us. Nice. Terrible fight. Nice fish. Tried to rip a glove off too. He didn't want to open his mouth for nothing. I mean, nothing. Yeah, just lousy fight. I mean, completely lousy fight. One of the weaker fights of the morning. But solid fish, man, I'll take it. Let's get our head bait here and take a look at it. We may switch it out for that other one in my bag. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and switch that out. We'll keep it, we're gonna switch it. All that slime off there. I don't know. Some people take the slime off their line, some people don't. Some people, hell, it's like more scent really, but I've never known if it's, I don't know that it really matters. It seems to annoy me for some reason. It may not affect the fish one way or the other, but by gosh, it affects me. Stick this in here. Where's that other? Oh, there's the one we just cut. I can tell that's the one, buddy. This is the one right here. We're going to catch a fish on that. I know we are. Down it goes. 21 feet. And then we need to slide over here toward this ledge. We are way off where we need to be. I think that fish was kind of moving us this direction off this ledge, maybe. I'm gonna blame the fish. I can't blame y'all because you ain't responsible for steering this thing. But I can blame the fish, my gosh. Oh, look right here, look right here. Just like that, man. Got hit again. And we'll slowly creep our way back to this ledge. Boy, I got hit quick. He didn't hook up though. That fish got slime all over my jig. I put these jigs on this magnet here, so when I went for my swim down there on Nickajack, when I fell down the ramp and into the water, everything in my life jacket got soaking wet, including my jig box. It's not waterproof. And I emptied my jigs out there the next day and let them dry out, and I noticed these are 1/32 ounce with a number 2 size hook. I will throw these occasionally when I'm throwing a 3-inch gulp, mostly when I'm just specifically targeting bass. I noticed the hooks were rusting. And so I took them out of the box, but everything in my life jacket got wet. I'm worried about of course it ain't been a problem yet, so it may not going to be a problem, but my trolling motor remote, water resistant, not waterproof, and them remotes ain't worth a crap. I've been through numerous remotes since I've used that Motor Guide XI3 motor on my other kayak. So I'm expecting any time that remote to quit working because it's probably corroded in there where water got inside. But so far so good. So far it's still, I mean, I used it yesterday. I took that kayak out while I was getting bait because I had to troll long ways too to get bait. I really had to log some miles. Here we go. Oh no, he still got it. I thought he dropped it. Oh, look at him go now. Look at him go now. Let's show this bass fisherman another one over here, buddy. I bet you he ain't caught a fish all morning. He's watched us reel in 2 of them now. I bet it's tearing him up. We may convert one in. We couldn't convert him because he's got a bass boat. He'd get slime on his carpet and he'd have a fit. It'd be like me getting poop down my leg. This is another one. Okay. Oh gosh, he splashed me good. He got me right in the face. I thought it was another one that wasn't going to fight. He decided that he would finally. I'm soaking wet, man. He better have got the lens of that camera too. He better have got y'all wet. I swear, if he got me this bad and didn't get you, I'm going to be upset. I know he was aiming for me, but he needs to get you too. He still really ain't fought hard though. Yeah, there he wants to go. Take my time. Here's another one. I don't know if you can see or not. Y'all didn't get water all over the lens. There's some more right there on the graph. I don't know how y'all dodge these water drops better than I am. I'm soaked. That dang fish has got me good. He's ornery. This in here may not come in the kayak acting this way. He ain't wanting to fight, he's just wanting to splash us. Now he's got that stinger fly in him too. Let's see if we can get the fly first, maybe. I went to fly. Come here, fish. Let's see what you've done. At least that maybe open its mouth for us. Maybe not. Maybe not. This is uncalled for. Boy, fish. That's enough now. That's enough, fish. That don't want to open. There we go. Let's get that hook out of you and send you packing. I don't like the way you're doing things, fish. There. Get on in. Knock the bait off too. Knock the bait off for us. Damn. Catfish. Skipjack. I catch mine. There's probably bait stores that sell them, but I'm just drifting down through here right now. Just working this ledge down through here. Yeah, I've caught. I don't know how many I've got, but I've got several. I got out here, I guess about 7:30 I started. So I got several down through here. Just off the bottom, a couple feet. I just lower everything down and raise it up 2 or 3 feet and drift along and working this ledge down through here.
I ain't a meat hunter. I just like catching. I'm from Kentucky. I just down here. I saw you catching. I was like, good Lord, he's tearing them up.
Well, if you're from Kentucky, you're a long way from home.
We is.
Yeah.
My wife got this for my 65th birthday. This is what she got me. Was a trip down here.
Well, I'll be doggone. That's a pretty good wife right there.
And she don't care. She sit up there in that house. She got her eyes out back there. She sit up there and she'll read, do whatever.
Oh, I'll be doggone. I wouldn't divorce that one.
I caught an ostrich out there in that south with the jig.
A bass?
Yeah. Can you give me any hints or help?
Well, I don't know that you want my my help on bass fishing. I ain't very good at them.
I know you good catfish.
Yeah, I catch a few catfish. I ain't no good at the bass, though.
I didn't know. I've caught 2 or 3 knives. Of course, I don't put a knife through them. I don't like catfish.
Yeah.
And I put a knife through them catfish. I might try that.
Oh, it's fun, yeah. Any kind of bait you can get, bluegill, crappie. You can use bass down here as long as they legal size and caught on rod and reel. So
Yeah.
you get you a keeper bass, and some people get tore up about using them for bait and stuff, but I mean, you can use them and catfish will eat them. You can use things like chicken too, but you catch numbers of fish, but you may not necessarily get big fish on it.
I know any trot lines we used to get creek chubs or bluegill or any of that.
Yeah.
Good skipjacks, they seem to be doing the business for you there, brother.
Yeah, I saw some when I first got out here this morning. They were busting the surface. I'd got these yesterday, but I saw some out here, so.
What's the catfish worth?
No, the skipjack.
Oh, okay.
You see them, sometimes dawn and dusk, you'll see them feeding on the surface. And they'll eat crappie flies. That's what I catch them with most of the time, or a spoon, a small spoon. But yeah, if you get any kind of fish and just work these channel edges down through here, just drift along, you'll catch you some cats this time of year.
See my wife, she caught a nice bass down there yesterday, and God, she ain't much fisherman, but neither am I. But it's 3 or 4 pounds, and oh Lord, she was a squall for me to help her and everything else.
Well, that's a nice bass, 3 or 4 pounds.
Yeah, she had nice. She caught it tell you what, it's beautiful down here. I sure do love it.
Yeah, it's nice. This section of the river here don't have a lot of houses and stuff. And
Oh, so this is really considered the river.
yeah.
Where's the lake part?
Well, it's all kind of, it's kind of both because it's a reservoir, so
Yeah.
it really just kind of depends on if they generating current or not.
Right.
I always just kind of say river just out of habit, but it's nice there. This is actually my first time fishing down there.
Is it?
Yeah, it's been on the to-do list for a long time. I live pretty good ways from here, but I've wanted to hit it for a long time. And
That's the only way you can afford to live away from it, ain't it?
well, that's the truth. I couldn't do these $1 million houses down here.
I've never seen anything like it, brother.
Ever since COVID, people started moving down to Tennessee, and probably that way your way in Kentucky too, I bet.
The lakes we got around our house, they're about an hour from the house, most of them. There's about 3 of them, but they're smaller lakes. And now you get down around Kentucky Lake and stuff, I don't see, you know, they have to build back. I think, what is that, the PDA or whatever it is, they won't let them build there on the water.
Well, that's nice. I wish it's like that around here.
Yeah, I just don't want to be, I've retired from the railroad. I always wondered, what in the world do you do to make your money?
Me too. Me too.
Y'all gonna have a pretty good team this year?
Well, we always think we are this time of year, and then by about 3 weeks in, we realize we ain't.
You know, thing about Kentucky football for sure, we just get used to losing, so if we win one, we just get our heads up.
Well, I've wondered about that sometimes. We got an expectation around here. If we don't do good, the whole season's a loss. But if a place like Kentucky, if you beat a Tennessee or you beat a Florida, like your season's made, one win.
Look at us.
Yeah.
That's the truth, though. That's the truth.
You seem to have a pretty good coach, though. That Stoops, I mean, he seems to.
Brought him along about as far as he's gonna bring them out.
Yeah.
I had mixed feelings about losing those Calipari, the basketball coach. You guys turned into a heck of a basketball team, too.
Somehow, ever since Barnes or whatever showed up, we've been.
Absolutely, that man has done his job, ain't he?
He sure has. He's been worth every penny.
Oh, and I don't know what they make, but I don't know about this boy we got. He's an ex-player. I was hoping to bring Tino back.
Really?
I was hoping so.
Wow.
I think he's one of the best coaches we ever had.
Well, I
All Barry wanted to do was strut around and tell how many pros he's made.
I mean, he was a good salesman, but I don't think he was much of a coach.
I think he's going to do the same thing. They're going to be charmed with him down there at Arkansas, and they're going to charm. The shine's going to wear off that used car for very long.
Yep. Yep.
I'm like you. I think he's a car salesman.
Yep. Yeah.
Brother, it sure has been nice talking to you.
Yeah, good luck today. I hope you get out there.
Stripers first. I thought, Dad, he's wearing them stripers out.
Well, they some around. I do catch them occasionally. I ain't caught none today, but,
When they go into a jump, you see them or something?
well, I catch them on the cut bait, near bottom sometimes.
Well, by golly.
But it's not, you know, I get a couple, 3 a year. It's not like a common thing.
They put them hybrids in some of our lakes, and I like catching them. A lot of guys just throw them up on the bank when they catch them.
Oh, heck.
They don't want them bass fishermen, they don't want them. And son, I like catching them crazy things.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked about that a lot, the whole sport fish versus trash fish. Like, if it pulls on the line, I like it.
That's me. Like I said, I ain't no meat hunter. I see people setting out 20 jugs of them little lakes we got, and I'm thinking, boys, y'all killing this little lake.
Yeah. Yeah.
They let them do it. I guess they bought their license, and they feel like they can do it.
Well, if they want to eat something out of here, they might glow in the dark.
Hey, that's the way most rivers are anymore.
Well, that's the truth.
Well, brother, I ain't gonna bother you no more. I sure appreciate talking to you.
Yeah, it's nice talking to you.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy your trip.
I will. It's short, I'm afraid.
let's get us another bait on here. Cut us a chunk of this one up. Okay, well, we're running low here. We got one whole skipjack left in there, though. We gotta get back on this ledge, y'all. I've been talking to him, and I've drifted off where we need to be. Let's drop this bait down, and we'll take off. Put a little distance between us and him, give him some space, and see if we can get back where we need to be to catch fish. Wind's picking up a little bit more now. Okay. Let's just do this. Let's go ahead and drop it down, and then we'll troll our way back over to get on that ledge. We've drifted off a good ways. The wind just keeps pushing us farther out. Of course, me sitting there flapping my gums didn't help the cause either. He's a nice guy, though. I don't know if you could hear him on the microphone or not. He said he was from Kentucky. I think he said it was his 65th birthday. His wife got him a trip down here. They're staying at some house over there, he said. Probably an Airbnb or something. Nice guy. He's asking questions there about catching these catfish. Pretty nice feller. Some of them bass fishermen annoy me, but people like him, good people. Some of them bass fishermen all stuck up and stuff, you know, snooty. If you ain't fishing for largemouth, you're beneath them. He said he likes fishing for everything. He's kind of like me then. We're gonna troll over here a little bit, y'all. We gotta look how far away we are. Look how far away we are off that ledge. Like we got a long ways off that ledge. Let me clean y'all off here. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna fish another 30 minutes to an hour here, at least until we'll either fish for another 30 minutes to an hour or until we go through that. We got one more whole skipjack. Well, I still ain't cut yet. So we might see if we can at least go through it. When we get down to the scraps, we may go ahead and call it. Even though I think we could probably drop them scraps down and catch some more fish on them. If we had four rods out today, we'd probably already be out of bait. Because I undoubtedly, when we've went through them, especially some of them schools there earlier, we'd have probably had all 4 rods getting hit. But if we had more bait and we were using more rods, I wouldn't be as quick to switch baits out as what we have been today. Because there wouldn't be. We definitely don't need no more of these people. I hope that's the only one we see today. All right, now we're getting back over here where we need to be. Got some distance between me and him. I just don't like talking on camera around people. Y'all, you don't know how weird I am about that. I always have been. Always. It ain't getting no better with age either. I may be getting a little bit more comfortable talking on camera overall, but not in situations where I have to be talking at random. He has no idea he's on video either, does he? He'll be back home in Kentucky in a few weeks, watching his basketball team there. He's clearly his people here in Tennessee, our basketball team is much improved, but we're all football fans here. Them Kentucky guys, man, they're basketball year round. He'll be back home in a few weeks though, and one of his buddies will be like, man, I seen you on Kayak Catfish video. And he'll be like, what? And he'll go look it up, and by gosh, 2 or 3 hours into this video, he'll scroll through and see himself on there, won't he? He'll be like, I had no idea I was on camera. I'd say this fancy pants microphone I'm using today probably missed out on most of his conversation though. We were far enough apart, I could barely hear him myself. So, the good thing about when I was using this, my GoPro with just the stock mic, the good thing about it is you picked up a lot of the, in that situation, for instance, I'm talking to somebody, you get the conversation, you get a lot of the birds, a lot of background noise. With this fancy pants microphone, you don't get the conversation unless you got another microphone on the person. You miss out on some of the surrounding noises, but audio quality's better. Wind noise, huge improvement. So it's a trade-off. But being able to connect this one through Bluetooth, I don't have to plug anything into the camera. I can use my battery pack. Like, that's super helpful. So I don't even mind using the microphone in this situation. And thus far, I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood. Thus far, I've not lost any audio from the footage. Like for a situation where, because I mean, it's Bluetooth, there's no cords to jiggle and knock loose. So far, every day I've gotten home from filming, there's been audio on the video, which is something I can't say for GoPro when I was using the Rode mic with it. It would be so I lost some good trips too. I'd get home, I'd just be on mute. There wouldn't be any audio for the whole, it's just, for whatever reason, when I guess most of the time it'd be like a wire, I'd maybe bump it, taking it in and out of my chest or something. The wire would kind of come loose. The GoPro standard microphone would not take over. So you would just be on mute. You would think if the other microphone, if the cord connecting the transmitter come undone, the standard mic would take back over, but it wouldn't. So I had several trips where I'd just get home, no audio. And I could have maybe done a voiceover and put something together with it, but like, nobody wants to watch a video that's been voiced over. At least not on my channel. You know, the way I've set my channel up, it's kind of, everything's in real time. Whatever I'm saying as I'm reeling in the fish, like that's happening. You lose some of the excitement and emotion and all that if you're trying to do it after the fact. So I just end up scrapping it. But I lost several trips doing that. It was very frustrating. Hopefully, though, the new cameras, the next generation of GoPro will be out in a few months. I'm sure DJI will release their next version of the camera in a few months. And hopefully, in the next 2 or 3 years, we'll finally get a camera that's probably about the time I'm done with YouTube. It'll be about the time the perfect camera comes along. That seems about right. I can't figure out if we're moving or not, y'all. My screen says we're 0.4. But I'm staring at the bank over there, and it don't look like we're moving at all. Maybe we are. We've had I mean, I know we haven't got the monster fish today, but we've got several fish. And this has been a productive stretch of river. Like I'm kind of kicking myself for having never come here before. Like I'll definitely be back at some point. I for sure want to hit that creek mouth or whatever it was. Like I want to log some hours on that spot. Spring or fall, both really. Then we could have sat there this morning and caught some fish, undoubtedly. Because, I mean, we caught fish close enough around there. I'm sure if we put in time, especially with the current pushing our scent downstream, we would have caught some fish. But I just really wanted to be on the move today and just see how many fish we'd run into, see if we noticed anything laying on bottom going down through here. It's paid off, man. No monsters, but we've got some fun sizers. We've got good numbers. I don't understand why some of these fish are barely fighting. I don't know if it's, I don't know what's up with that. But we're getting them nonetheless. Wish we could have got out here though I wanted to be out here at sunrise. Which sunrise now is about 6 o'clock. So I think it was about 7:30 when I got out here and was ready to drop lines down. So I was about an hour and a half later than what I wanted. But we've made the most of the lost time. Still ain't got wet, thankfully. Ain't been covered up with boats. Like, it's been a pretty good day. Old Kentucky. He mentioned up there, yeah, I don't know if y'all was able to hear it or not, probably not. But he was mentioning some of them places over there where he's at, they don't allow houses to be built that close to the water. And boy, I wish it was like that around here. Like when I've been to Del Hollow Lake a couple times. I went there for a tournament a few years ago. That video is on my channel. I did pretty well in that tournament, a bass tournament. And then I went there last fall for a video you didn't see because I caught some fish, but very few and not very big and not very many. So I scrapped that video. But Del Hollow, and it's out in Middle Tennessee. It's up toward, part of the lake's actually in Kentucky. It's up Middle Tennessee, up along the Tennessee-Kentucky border up there. But that lake, beautiful scenery, and it's just forest, man. Like you look around, it's just forest. Rocks and forest. Like you don't have houses everywhere. Now there are some marinas there on the Del Hollow, on the lake, but you don't have like, and this is a bad example like here, but I mean there are houses here right in front of us right now with some docks and whatnot. These are, I would assume these houses have been here a while because all the new developments along the Tennessee River are, the property values are so much, it's gazillion-dollar houses. But back home, I normally fish Fort Loudon, for instance. It's just covered up in huge houses. Now, just up from where I live, they're putting it, well, and this is a joke with our local politicians, they're petitioning, what do? They've put in a zoning request, something, they're trying to build, bottom line is they're trying to build a new marina. They're going to dredge out this cove, build a huge marina, build a boat ramp for that marina. And I guess whatever there is they're doing, they have to make a post about it for public input, which is a total waste of time. From the moment, they would not have filled out the paperwork and jumped through the hoops if they knew that it wasn't already going to be a done deal. When you get that kind of development and that kind of money, like they've got the city council in their pockets, right? Like that's how it's been with all the real estate developments and apartment complexes and everything else in my town. Like our damn mayor is the biggest real estate developer in town. And so anything he wants, any deal he's got a hand in, it's sliding right through city council. So, but anyway, back home, we're already covered up with these giant houses, houseboats everywhere, wakeboarders everywhere, and now we got this new giant marina coming in. And it's like, man, when you go to places like Adele Hollow, for instance, or like this guy over here in Kentucky was talking about, then you go somewhere that's makes you feel like you're in nature. Like when you're out on the water and there's like forest around you, it makes you feel like you're, I don't want to say it makes you feel like you're in a different place or a different world, but it kind of does in a sense, right? Like it makes you feel like you're just not in the rat race, like you're just not around civilization. It's kind of nice. But as we've had more and more people move south, and it started a few years ago during COVID, these people started working remotely and realized that they could go do their jobs anywhere on planet Earth. They started moving. And so they're like, well, why are we going to pay New York City rent prices and taxes when we can go south and come somewhere like Tennessee where you get somebody from California, for instance, that's got a small house, a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, a 3-bedroom, 2 bath, just a modest house in California. Hell, it's $500,000 to $1 million depending on where you're at out there. Plus you're paying an ungodly amount of taxes for being a California resident. You come to Tennessee, you take that same $1 million, get you one of these mansions on the lake. Got no state income tax. So if they can do their same job working remotely, well, why the hell would they want to? I mean, California, you could at least make the argument that you've got some nice weather, and depending on where you're at in California, you could have beach, you could have mountains, you could have desert. So if you're into those kind of things, that might motivate you to stay and deal with the higher cost of living and higher taxes. But if you're somebody in New York, Michigan, Massachusetts, all these northern states that have flooded into Tennessee, if you're somebody up there and you're like, we can freeze to death up here 6 to 8 months out of the year, deal with snow and nasty weather, high housing prices, high taxes, or we can go to Tennessee, have a better climate, a lower cost of living, overall better life, of course they're coming down here. And so they started moving just in droves, man, and real estate prices. If you already had a place in Tennessee and you wanted to move and wanted to sell your place, boy, you cashed in. I mean, my house, I bought my house as a foreclosure. Now, I got my house in 2006. Obviously, it was a different time back then. But my house now, the house beside me, my house was built in 96. The house beside me sold last year. It's a little bit bigger than mine square footage wise. They got half the land I do. But their house was built in the 60s. It sold for $400,000. And my channel members, y'all have seen me film in my neighborhood when I've done my videos walking around the yard and stuff. Like, you've seen my neighborhood. $400,000 my neighbor's house sold for. $400,000. Who the hell wants to spend $400,000 to move to my neighborhood? Granted, some of my neighbors have productive lives. You can also buy meth in my neighborhood, okay? Like my neighborhood, it's, something splashed right there in front of us. But like, $400,000 my neighbor's house. There was another house up the street, and it was a new house. Okay, we finally got another fish here. Oh, he's pulling hard. Oh, he's pulling hard. We'd win a while. We'd win a spell here without a fish. We were due. I see that line starting to pull and the drag pulls like that, man, I just get, my adrenaline starts pumping. Even though we're fishing so shallow that a smaller fish can do that today. These smaller fish, and you got your rods perpendicular out, like you're gonna lean a little. It's awesome, man. This one here is gonna end up being a fun sizer too. Skinny fun sizer. Right now the bait's still on. We'll see if he's gonna throw it off. I know he is. We're not gonna get that bait back. So far so good though. Oh, other rod got hit. Something tapped it. Oh, there goes the bait. I see it falling. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. Has he got the fly here? What's that? He does, he has the fly. This one ate the fly, folks. Oh, this one's getting, oh, there it goes. We're doubled. Let's set this one back. Let's set him back in the rod holder. Let's pick up on this one. That one over there ate the fly. This one in our hand ain't gonna be as big. Look at this one ate the fly too. Boy, ain't that something. Both of these fish, we double up and both of them eat the fly. And for all my haters out there and people that want to call me a liar, we're unedited, folks. We're raw and uncut here. There's no manipulating any footage. What you see is what you get. Both of these fish ate the fly. Both of them did. He's got it in the mouth. That is not a foul hook. This one though ain't as big as his friend over there on the other rod. Yeah, folks, both of these dang fish. What are the odds of that both of them? Makes me wonder if they weren't eating on some shad or something, some bait fish down there that size roughly of the fly. And we drift through and they're like, that looks like what we're feeding on. And so they go after that versus the cut bait. We're on some fish right here, man. Let's, our bait, our head bait still looks good, still hooked good. Let's send it back down and then we'll land our other one. We may hook some more while we're dealing with this one in the other side here. Come here, fish. Look at it. Did it just get hit again? By gosh, it did. Let's set the other one back. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. Oh, goodness. We're on some fish right here, buddy. This one feels a little better. We're on some fish right here. We've went through another patch of them. Oh, that one come free. Did he get our bait? I don't know what he had. The fly's up near the hook. I don't know which bait he had on that, potentially. Back down it goes. We'll see if we can get him again. Business picked up, didn't it? We were having a little dry spell, nothing going on, and then all of a sudden, man. That's how it goes when you drift fishing. That's what makes it fun, it's that anticipation. You just never know. You never know when that next bite's coming. This one's a good fish. This one right here's a nice fish, buddy. This will be front camera worthy here, I believe. I'm gonna go ahead and set you up here anyway, get you out my way so I can see what we got going on with this fish. You think he'll open his mouth for me? He's got that fly right there in the mouth, buddy, dead center. Let's see where it's coming out at. There it is. Okay. Okay, folks. Yes, sir. Look at where that fly's at. You see it right there? Right here, corner of the mouth. 2 of them ate them flies back to back. That camera's been rolling nonstop for however the hell long we've been out here now. Ain't no manipulating footage. This fish ate that fly. That camera's crooked. Let me turn you, fish. There we go. That's another fun sizer, you know, not a monster. He's got a lot to say though, don't he? He's a talkative thing. Yeah, buddy. Hey, you get fish like this, man, it's a good time. I'll take fish like that 7 days a week if I can get them. He gone. Well, we've went through some fish right here, man. Right here. We got another one just like that. We're on some fish, buddy. He's got it. He's got it. Let's get us another. Oh, he dropped it. Let's send it back down. We got to cut another bait. Get on this other rod over here. Let's get that other. We got that one other skipjack that we ain't cut yet. We're gonna go ahead and cut it. This is a rod over here. It may go down before we can get this thing cut. I'm gonna go ahead and get that head bait ready too, because either we'll reel in another fish on that head bait over there and then switch it out, or if we get the chunk lowered down and we ain't got another fish on that rod, we'll reel it up and switch it out since it's been hit. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Oh, buddy, he's pulling some line too. We're on fish, buddy. We're on them. We've went through another school here, man. We're tearing them up. Boy, listen. You just sit there and think about what you've done, fish. He's all wrapped up in that line. Let's get our next bait down. We're gonna switch out that head bait. We'll put this fresh one on for no longer than I'm gonna fish. We're gonna go ahead and just burn through this freshest skipjack. Okay, here's our chunk. Down it goes. We just might catch us another one before we can get this other one landed, folks. I told you, man, 2 rods will keep you plenty busy when you're on the fish. When you're in the right place at the right time, you don't need a boat, a bunch of rods and planer boards. 2 rods keep you on the action here. Okay, let's see what we can do with this fish now. Let's see what he says. We ain't gonna do nothing with him, is what he says. Okay, fish, come here. You're gonna act that way, you ain't coming in. I just wanna get that bait back down. We're going through so many fish, I don't even wanna fool with him, really. I just wanna get him unhooked so we can get a bait lower back down. Oh man, he's got that line. He's got his mouth dang near closed because he's got the line wrapped around it. Come here, fish. Let's see what I can do with you. I may have to bring him in. I'm gonna have to do that, folks. We're gonna have to lift this fish in with just, oh crap. I broke my crapola, man. Oh crap, I broke my line trying to lift. He had his mouth tied shut. Dang. I tried lifting him in, I broke my line. My sinker bounced off, though. It landed in the kayak, I got that, but that fish is gonna be wearing a, I hate that. He's gonna be wearing a hook and leader. Crap, man. Well, doo-doo sticks, man. All right. Stick that up under the seat there for a second. Let's get us another leader out of here. I put in some new leaders the other day. Got them all tangled up here in this bag together, but it sure does save on space. Lord Almighty, y'all! How the hell they got that tangled up is a mystery in itself, ain't it? It's a good thing we wasn't in a hurry. We'll get it here directly. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me here. We got a mess. I need to put them in individual baggies, and then put those individual baggies in a bag. That's what I need to do. But I'm cheap and I'm lazy. Don't judge me, okay? I'm cheap and lazy. There's worse things to be in life than cheap and lazy. I even got this kayak. I go through so few rigs. I got dragging rigs and suspend rigs all in the same one. That's gonna be a mess. The next time I need a leader out of here, that's gonna be a mess. As bad as it was before, it just got worse. That'd be all right. You know what? There's my other. I'm looking at that and I'm like, I know I put more. There's my other just suspend rigs. I'm like, I tied up some. I'm like, I knew I put them in, but I was like, I thought I did a bag of them, but maybe I didn't. My memory ain't what it used to be, so I was questioning myself, kinda, but now we know I had another bag in there. Well, either way, I'm gonna thread this sinker back on, and I've talked about this some before, but worth repeating if you're in the market for sinkers. So notice this piece of that green thing right there on that sinker. So this is an inline sinker, which means your line goes through it. Catfish Sumo sinkers have this green insert. It's a line protector. So when you thread your line through it, that sleeve keeps the rough edges of the lead, keeps it from rubbing on your line and your knot. And it helps protect your line from abrasion. Sometimes, and Catfish Sumo is the only company I'm aware of doing something like that. I could be wrong. To my knowledge, they're the only ones doing it. If you got a normal sinker and it bounces up and down as you're reeling in fish and casting and stuff, you will get some abrasion on your line. And if you're somebody like me that rarely ever reties unless you just break off or bend a hook or break a hook or something. Oh, we got a fish over here. Here, let's do this. Here, let's. I want to get this head on and drop it down, and then we're going to reel in our other one here. We're still on these fish, man. We've drifted off this ledge, but we've got another one here. We got to move more that way when we get this other fish undone. We've undoubtedly drifted off the bulk of the school from where we were at. But yeah, folks, I'm terribly lazy when it comes to retying rigs and retying knots. But them sinkers, man, I ain't trying to say no sinkers, but I'm just saying, if you're going to be buying them anyway, and they're the same price as the sinkers without the sleeve in them, we'll get the ones with the sleeve. And they are comparably priced. This fish here has thrown the bait off. We should have left that skipjack out. Come on, fish. Let's get you undone so we can get over there where we need to be to catch all your friends. Where's my pliers at? I fear this fish is going to go crazy in a second because he's lassoed around the face too. Okay, go crazy now, fish. You unhooked. Let's get another bait on. He's got us all slimed up every which way. All right. Here, I'm gonna get us over here, and then we'll get a bait on. We'll get us back over here where we need to be. Business picked up again though, didn't it, folks? We went through another productive area. You just, I mean, I try to explain that when you're drifting, man. You get on fish, you get off fish, but you cover enough water, you'll just keep running into them. Different schools, and that one there was a pretty good fish that we got. We've had some fun-sized fish today, man. Like the quality from recent catfish trips that I've had, I really hit that area hard down there. That one area where I was really just wearing them out, but like, you kind of get spoiled in a sense when you're getting big fish on the regular, but this time of year in the spawn, you kind of take what you can get, and oftentimes you'll have good days and numbers of fish, but bigger fish can be hard to come by. But today, I mean, we've got our numbers and we've got some fun, what I call fun size anyway, and quality fish, man. Let's send that back down. We're pretty much down to, at this point, we're down to tails and scraps in our bag here. Tails and scraps. We've made the most of this bait though, man. We've had a good morning for only having a few small skipjacks that we had. And yeah, it's down to the nitty gritty here, folks, but that's fine. We ain't gonna, well, y'all may fish all day for all I know. I'm gonna fish just a little while longer. And then I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about the Orkin man. If I'm gonna go home and find a mess of ants and have to burn the house down, or if I can call the Orkin man or Terminex or whoever the hell comes out and handle such a thing. I don't remember what I was talking about before all that chaos happened. We'll slide us a little bit more forward over here. Try to get us back closer. You know, we're drifting off that ledge and we're still getting bit, but our quality fish have been when we're on that break line. And so that's why I really want to focus. We could free drift down through here and catch some fish. Just drift at random, but you're going to get more fish and you're going to get bigger fish more frequently if you really key in on them break lines. That's my opinion anyway. That's been my experience. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, I was talking about all them Yankees moving down here. But yeah, my neighborhood, man, and I don't live in the best neighborhood. Location's good. I'm 5 minutes from Fort Loudon. I'm 2 miles from the interstate. Like I'm in a good location, but the neighborhood itself leaves a lot to be desired. But sure as the world, man, my neighbor's house, $400,000, and there was another one up the street from me. It was built last year, so I mean, it's new. It's a new house, but it's small. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Smaller house, virtually no, I think it was on like 0.3 acres. I mean, it's basically a lot. It's not even any real land with it. They got $330,000 for that place, for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And it was this fish here, he said he ain't got $3.30 for me to get him off this hook. Did that rod get hit too? Did I imagine that? I may have imagined it. Another one, folks. So we get back over here on this brake line and boom, another fish. About to lose y'all out of the chest here too. There we go. Yeah, oh, he's wrapped up too, man. Now this one's got a turd hanging out of his butt. Don't come over here with that mess, fish. Go ahead and take the aqua dump before you get in here now. We done been dutied on once today. I've had it. I've had all the duty I'm having on me today. This fish says he'll duty on whoever the hell he wants, and he dares me to try to stop him. I guess you think, well, I keep waiting on these fish to just thrash around and act a fool, but most of them aren't today. It's weird. The fights today, I mean, we've had some nice takedowns, but most of these fish have been pretty tame fights compared to what you would expect. Yeah, this one here's another one, man, he's a quality fish. What I would call a smaller fun size, maybe. He's one, if he's still got that turd, he does, he's still got that turd half hanging out of him. He ain't coming in. You prairie dog in there, fish. We've scared the doo-doo out of this fish is what we've done. It's like me as a kid with that ant movie there. All right, fish. That's all you getting out of me. You ain't coming in. We can't be bringing in fish with a turd hanging out of him. Well, what are we gonna do for bait now? We got a choice to make. I feel like we've gotten bit on both the heads and the chunks today. I mean, we've had a fair amount of fish on both. Yes, well, we're kind of down to the tail portions. Here, I don't particularly like this cut of the meat, but it's what we got, so I'm gonna go with it. Still got that fresher head there on the other rod, so we'll do this just for the variety. Get it hooked. There we go. I guess my email going off right there on my phone, buzzing. We still ain't heard from the utility board, have we? I bet you they don't even call me back. I just, why would they? When your customers have no recourse, when you're forced to use their business, like, what do you care if people are pissed off or not? Who are we going to complain to? And again, you can't complain. You know, you're dependent upon these people to keep when the power goes out, or you get somebody, hell, they could just mess with you, you know, if you piss off the wrong person, be like, oh, we're gonna go work on the transformer today. Oh, we just flipped the breaker on the transformer. How about that? We must have forgot to flip it back when we were done working on it. Your power's out for hours. I ain't saying they would do that. I'm just saying they got the potential to do it. You know, like you've got to, if you're going to fight that fight, you got to be willing to accept the consequences. I don't want the consequences, but again, sometimes you just got to take an ass whooping in life, folks, to prove a point. And so if I get to call, by God, I'm going to give them an earful about what they've done to my yard as this rod, the head gets hit over here. And our power grid, you would think too, with all the new development coming into town, like it's going to be straining it as well. All these Yankees moving down here. But you can't blame the Yankees for coming. I mean, again, if you can leave a state with poor weather, high taxes, high real estate prices, and come down here and live like a damn king, it's kind of like the appeal. There's a lot of people. I watched one video on YouTube, one, and now this crap pops up on my screen all the time. I'm in the algorithm, I guess. But it's about these people, they're called expats, I guess, where they're United States citizens, but they go to these foreign countries with lower costs of living. A lot of them, like Philippines and South America and places like that. And they go down there, and money that you wouldn't necessarily, if you retired on it here in America, you'd be living very, very frugally. It'd be a struggle, but you can go to these places with these really poorer countries, if you will, places where our money's worth a lot more, lower cost of living, and they can live like a king for a fraction of the cost. And so a lot of people in America will retire to these countries. And I watched one video on it. And now, every time I turn on my TV for YouTube or something, it's just these videos. I'm in the algorithm. It must be a popular genre on there. But it's a thing, man. And you can kind of do that depending on where you come from in the United States. If you're from up north or somewhere like California, and you come to a place like Tennessee, well, you can live a lot better life on the same money than what you were getting. The problem is we're sick of people coming here. We're full. There's no more there's no more places to put these people. People that are born and raised in Tennessee is priced out because the wages can't support the new rent prices. These people are coming in from out of state and stuff. They're bringing their money with them, but the people that are here in Tennessee working for Tennessee wages, you just can't do it anymore. I like my neighbor's house there. Old house, built in the 60s. I think they got 2 acres. I got 4. I got about double the land they do. And it's a little bigger than my house, not much. $400,000. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that a person around here working a factory job or school teacher or police officer, somebody here in my area that's going to make $50,000 a year or less, like, even if they get approved for a mortgage, $400,000, like they're going to pay it the rest of their lives. I don't get it. But that's the new norm, man. They've all come down south. And I don't want to go live in some third world country. I wouldn't mind visiting. It sounds like a nice vacation other than the plane trip to get there. I mean, to go to somewhere on the other side of the planet is going to take multiple flights and 20-something hours of flight time. That does not sound appealing. If I did go on a vacation there, I'd want it to be at least 2 weeks to a month to justify the travel time to get there. But I don't want to go live there. I don't want to move my life over there. I mean, how would I get Daphne over there? That dog can't sit still for 10 minutes. How's she gonna do on a 20-something hour flight? Is that rod there got nipped? And can you even take dogs to a foreign country like that? I don't know. Daphne might be on the menu at some of these places, hell, as far as I know. Oh, buddy, here comes the yacht club. That boat there is suitable for this size of river, ain't it? Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, Overboard. Y'all remember that movie from that was actually a pretty good movie. I liked that movie as a kid. I ain't seen it in a long time. I ain't gonna slow down. You got me and Kentucky Bass Boat Man up here. He don't give a damn. Ain't gonna slow down. Gonna put off a huge ass wake. Boats like that, too damn big. See, that's the problem with money coming here. Because they got boats like that. And I know. People there goes the bass boat that way. He's gonna have to slow down. He's gonna be jumping waves. People tell me, well, Justin, you ain't got no right to tell people what they can and can't have. I don't. They got the money, the resources. If they want to have a giant ass boat on a small river like this, that's their right. But just know, me and everybody else out here, here's one of them things, one of them situations where humanity can unite against the common enemy. Me, other catfishermen, and even the bass fishermen, even the crappie fishermen that hate my guts, we all together hate these people right here. All of us. We all got our differences. We all hate each other. But yet, the common enemy, we will come together against these people. Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell, Overboard. Well, we're gonna get rocked here in a minute. It'll be all right, but they ain't no damn cause to have a boat that big out here. None. Like, that's an ocean type boat on a river this small. Like, it's just, I don't get it. Just cause they got money don't mean they got brains. And if I'm the people in these houses, and you got all the yacht club going by all the time, the shoreline erosion, the damage to their docks and their personal property, it has to take its toll over time. Like these people over here got riprap along their bank over there. Like I'm sure these people in the yacht club ain't paying for it. But they need that. Why? Because of these huge ass waves. Otherwise, it's just, well, like down here, that mud bank, I don't know if you can see, but you get them waves hitting it enough, it'll just cave in. Yeah, we got a lot of people like that moving down here. More money than brains. I don't blame anybody for wanting to live here. Tennessee's the best state in the union. I've said it forever. I mean, I've been places. I'm not one of these people that's been in the same zip code my whole life. Like, I've worked all over. I've been all over. Tennessee's the best state in the union. But we're at capacity. We're full. Like, no more. We've taken all we can take. Between the Yankees coming in and the illegals coming across the border who somehow managed to end up in Tennessee. Boy, we got a bunch of them too. I can't say that about that though. I'll get dinged. Gotta watch my mouth. Well, that sun right there, y'all, it's popped out through the clouds, and boy, you're talking about a steam bath right now. It has gotten hot since that sun popped out. Your boy here is about to take it to the house. By the time I pedal back to the car today, I'm gonna be drenched in sweat. We ain't gonna make it much longer on this camera battery anyway. My battery pack's dead. We own the camera battery too, and it's close to dead. My current battery camera setup gets about 4 hours. which is perfect really, because most of my trip's about 4 hours. Some days I'm on a good bite, I might fish 5 or 6, but still 4 hours worth of camera time is good enough. If you've listened to me for 4 hours, you're probably sick of it. You couldn't take another 5th or 6th hour of it. We'll drift down here just a little further. Maybe try to bust one more. And that sun will go behind them clouds. There's some more clouds moving over. You can feel the difference, man. When that sun's out versus when it ain't, like it's a huge difference in temperature. These people right here though, man, right here on the river, these are probably older houses, I would assume, because they're smaller. These people right here though, I guarantee if they sold their house and property, whoever bought it wouldn't even want that. They'd bulldoze the house and build them a mansion on it. But like, whatever they paid for it, I promise you it's worth 2, 3, 4 times as much now, easily, with the real estate prices. And I hear stuff on the news and stuff. Okay, I don't watch the news per se, but you see little news clips from time to time scrolling through social media, and people talk about how real estate prices are down, with interest rates up, real estate sales going down. Maybe in other parts of the country, but in Tennessee, business is booming. Absolutely booming. I've told this before, but my friend Pro Moderator, he's been on my channel before. He had quit his job a few years ago. He was in medical supply sales. And he had a connection, a friend, and they started doing these real estate deals. Basically, they'll go into the hood, the ghetto parts of Knoxville, buy these lots, these small lots. They'll put a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house on there and sell these houses. And he ended up quitting his job. Now that's what him and, I really don't even know what Pro Moderator does. His friend does the construction. He's like a contractor guy, heads up construction crew. He does all the work. I don't really know what Pro Moderator does other than collect a check. But as soon as they list a house on the market, it's gone. Like cash, sight unseen. I mean, they're building these small houses, middle of the ghetto, homeless camps across the street. And people from California, New York, Massachusetts, like they're snatching them up, paying full price, sometimes over the listing price, and cash just immediately to get it. And it's like, that's where we're at in our real estate market. Something hits, you can name your price. If I wanted to sell my house right now, especially with my land, I guarantee you I'd get 3 or 4 times what I got in it. Now, I don't want to sell. Having a higher property value don't mean nothing if you don't want to sell. All it means is you're going to get hit with more taxes. They about to raise our taxes in my area anyway, because we got to pay for a new school because of all the people that's moved here. We got to raise their school children now. So city schools is over capacity. Here we go. This fish is over capacity too. Look at him taking that line. Look at him taking that line, buddy. Okay. Well, I was hoping to get one more here. Maybe end the video on a fish. We've actually got 2 because we got the other rod over here that's got a fish on it. So yeah, that's what we'll do, folks. We'll wrap it up with these 2 fish. What a way to go out, man. Ending with assuming the camera battery will last. We're running down on the nitty gritty on the camera battery. This is a good one right here. This is the biggest one of the day. This is the biggest one of the day right here. The other one I think's small. He's bouncing around. Well, my camera battery's, it's in the red. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna make it. Yeah, folks, I don't know if we're gonna make it. Y'all may or may not see this fish. I'm gonna try to land this one first before we get to the other one, since the other one's not very big. This one's the biggest one of the day. Of course it comes right now when nobody's still left watching the video. Oh, shoot. I just broke my line on him. I grabbed my line and he surged and took off. That was the biggest one of the day. Dang it. I was trying to rush because we're running out of battery and he wasn't ready. Crap, y'all, we finally had us a good one, a real good one. That's all right. Look, look. This is, boy, look at this. Look at this, we got two. We've got two fish. We got one on the fly, he just popped off. That one popped off. We had one on the fly and we had one on the cut bait. Boy, this one's not a bad fish right here, man. Not a bad fish. I hate that I lost that other one. I had my line, I had a firm grip on it and he surged. And if you're gonna break your line, that's when it's gonna happen. That's why I usually use heavy leaders and I try to get hold of my leader, but in that case I had my line, which is just 40 pounds, and gone. Yeah, man, I had one on the fly and this one on the cut bait. Oh yeah, buddy. Nice. I'll give you some front camera time since you're gonna be the last one probably on video because my camera's gonna die. There we go. Nice, y'all. Nowhere near as big as the other one that we lost, but that one was a pretty good one. I got to look at him, he was good. I'm gonna let this one go. I'm gonna drop some, I'm gonna put a new rig on this one. I'm gonna put some scraps or scrap baits on, dropping. I'm gonna keep drifting down through here for a little while longer. We'll call this the end of the video. Hell, it's been 4 hours and we're out of battery life, but I'm gonna go just a little bit further since I'm on some more fish and it looks like some better quality. So, all right, y'all. I expect this battery to cut off at any time. Yeah, we're down to the nitty gritty here on it, but thanks for coming with me today. Been a good trip numbers wise. Been a nice day overall. The rain's held off for us, so hopefully I go home, don't have a house full of ants. Hopefully utility board calls me back, fixes the damage they caused. But I'm gonna quit flapping my gums. I'm gonna retie rig and see if I can get them, eat some of these scraps. I'll see you on the next trip. Thanks for coming with me today.